Well done, bro.
I'm chilling. I see you fighting. You're arguing all the time with these guys, man.
Well, I want
Bro,
this
they
go
stay
live.
arguing with me, man.
I've got internet problems. Why won't this go live? Hang on, one. Come on.
They stay arguing with me, Egal. They stay arguing with me, man.
Why does it always get violent? That's what I want to know.
This ain't working at the moment. I'm having problems here. I think it's because my internet's shit. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Hang on.
Why are people always trying to fight you, man? Stricto.
It's easier to fight me online, bro. It's easier online than it is in person, bro.
Yeah, man. You're like 6'4".
I'm not even that tall. But yeah.
Yeah, what's going on, people? 12th man's back. Apologies for a little bit of lateness. There's some problems with my Wi-Fi. If I do go off, then the panel will just crack on and chat away. But I don't know what's going on. It looks all right at the moment. Hopefully you can all see and hear me and see the panel. Big up to everyone that's come on tonight. It's mad. There's nearly 1,000 people in here. Big up to Lee Gunner, who's literally just raided, who's going to be jumping on in a bit. We've got a great panel tonight, and we've got a balance and mix of opinions, which is what this is all about. So please be respectful in the chat. Yeah, if you don't agree with what Egal says, you don't have to abuse him. If you don't agree with what DJ says, you don't have to abuse him. If you don't like Stricto or Marty's opinions, you don't have to abuse him. And if you don't like Ken's opinion, then watch out, because Kenny's quite a big lad. Yeah, and he'll hunt you down. We got Kenny in the house, we got Marty, we got Stricto, we got Egal, we got DJ. Yardman has got the link. Hopefully he will be out at some point, but I can't get a hold of him. Lee also will be over too. We're going to have a discussion tonight about Mikel Arteta. I don't want to talk about analysis of last night's game. Go look and check out people's contents for that if you want that. I don't want to talk about last week's game at Bournemouth and what we're going to be doing in the next 3 games. I just want to talk about Mikel Arteta. And I'm not going to do what I usually do tonight and go around and each have a go at last night's before breaking it all down. I just want to have an open, honest discussion with the panel, right? And we all have difference of opinions of where we see this manager's future. A lot of us want him out gone now. A lot of people are suggesting that we give him 1 season. Some are suggesting that he's here forever because he's the best thing since sliced bread. I actually want to get each other's opinions and try and look at why we have feelings of that opinion. What is the evidence looking like? Why do we believe he's the best thing since sliced bread? Why do we think it's time's up? Why do we think we deserves 1 more year? That's what I want to be looking at today. So how I'm going to open this is quite simple. Egal has got very, very much an opinion that Mikel Arteta is still the guy and that it's not him that is the sole reason as to why we have not done. So I'm going to ask Egal to start. And then what we're going to do is open the discussion. I'm not going to then bring in DJ or then bring in Kenny and then bring in I'm just going to have an open discussion about why that is. What I will say is please wait for Egal to finish, because otherwise we will be here all night. And Egal will try and make his point and we won't let him, and he'll try and make X, Y, and Z. So, Egal, I'm going to let you start because you feel, and today you went through opinions with me, myself. Big up to Guns. Thanks for the raid, my bro. And I just want interrupted until you're finished, Egal, why you believe Mikel Arteta deserves to stay in this position as Arsenal manager. Go for it, bro.
All right. So I referred to the result yesterday, and I said to myself, Arteta's not the problem, simply because of the tactics not being the issue, in my opinion, and personnel and execution being the problem. That's the main thing that I'm looking at over the last run of the entire season. Since the turn of January, I've been saying to myself that Arteta and the team have been trying to play with a depleted team. And that's down to the January transfer window, that's down to the summer transfer window, and that's really down to the board and the people making decisions, not getting the right players in the team. And I'm not only looking at Arteta alone, because if you look at just tactics, if you look at just the gameplay and you say, how did we lose? It was really small margins. Now, if you want to say those small margins, maybe another manager makes a difference, we can talk about that when you get there. But I do think the players have let him down on numerous occasions. Look at the Newcastle game, first leg at home. Look at the Manchester United game at the Emirates in the FA Cup. You look at the situation that we found ourselves in the league. Just this season alone, numerous occasions where we were down and we couldn't get ourselves the second goal. We couldn't get ourselves the winning goal to get the game over with, and eventually that poor execution led to us getting punished on the other end. And in this game versus PSG in the semi-final, I think our luck just ran out. Really and truly, we've had individual brilliance shine through in certain games. We've had tactical masterclasses from Arteta in certain games, but eventually, when you just don't have enough quality in the final third, you're going to get hurt. The reason why all of you guys predicted we weren't going to win, or a majority of you guys predicted we weren't going to win, was because of our forward line not being good enough. And coincidentally, the team that we played, PSG, were one of the teams that strengthened the most in January. They bought Lewis-Skelly, who absolutely transformed their team. It just goes to show the board let us down in this past window. The board let us down the previous window, also not getting the right players in. And I'm looking at Arteta and I'm saying to myself, why would I sack Mikel Arteta when we have so many issues and I don't view him as the main guy who is the problem, who's making the problems at the club? I can go back and talk about all the other things that he's done up until this point, but that would just be redundant. The main reason why I'm not looking at Arteta to be sacked this summer is because I view it as he's still missing that final piece of the puzzle, which is that striker, and if he can get the left winger. And if he does that and it doesn't work, at that point, I would be just right beside you guys saying he should go and we should get him replaced. But at this moment in time, I don't think he's the issue. I think it's the personnel and the lack of execution which led us to this situation. And tactically, Arteta has done a lot and has also never. I don't think he's ever really been tactically outclassed by anybody.
My baller, bruv.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Who's just scored, Lee?
My baller, Abdi, but he don't get GA Egal, so Egal don't rate him.
All right, that's
with a
another
name
story.
like Abdi, he must be Somali, no?
Moroccan.
Morocco.
Okay.
Let me
So,
bring
yeah, I
let me
read
bring
so.
Strict in. Let me bring
Left
Strict
winger,
in.
market opportunity, but he don't get GA when I spoke to you about him before.
Let
But
me,
he's just got in the semi-final, mate.
Yeah, anybody named Abdi, I rate them.
that's
What phase
another
is- what-
combo. That's
what
another
fa-
combo.
What phase
That's
is
another
Bellerin in,
combo.
by the way? Because Bellerin's in this team.
Bellerin is a player. He's not. He doesn't go by phases.
There we go. We'll come back to that because I've got a question on that. Stricto, spoke to you early, my bro. Big up to you, man, as always, for coming on. And I've got to ask you because you and I see things a little bit differently with Mikel. There's also stuff I agree with you on. There's also, I know, stuff that I've said that you agree with me on. Where are you at right now with Mikel? It's another trophyless season. The season is over. 3 games left. Big summer ahead. Whatever happens, looks like he's staying. Are you still convinced he can get us across the line, bruv?
I think it's a matter of hope more than anything. If I'm being serious, like we said earlier, there's no evidence of it, but I think, like most people, you sort of think, give him the right window, give him what he needs, give him the striker. And I think I said to you earlier, the same point that Gal just made now was you saw the difference with PSG yesterday. They literally bought a few players, but one in particular that has transcended them from an average attack to like super attack. You know, he tracks back, he does the attacking side so well. You know, he's a superstar, but he's a working superstar. You know, he's not like the ones they've had in the past where just solely rely on the attack. So he fits into that mold. He gets, you know, he keeps the work rate up. And in that time, in that window, we had 2 players gone off injured, our star players, if you want to call it that, with Saka. If you want to have Jesus getting injured. And we did not do nothing, you know. And I've heard so many interviews with Mikel saying he wanted a striker, and I don't know whether or not he did or he didn't. I don't know. Bottom line is we didn't get one. And at the end of it, we're starting to reap what we sow. And that was nothing. So you reap nothing, you get nothing. Do you understand? A part of me, I definitely wouldn't say I'm at where I want Arteta out. I don't think I'm at that stage yet. I would say I will be close if this is a pattern that continues. The fact is we've got to a semi-final. We've got so close, but yet so far. And I'll tell you my frustration of Arteta more than anything is the fact I feel he doesn't want to learn, or it appears that he doesn't want to learn. He keeps everything too safe. We're losing, Timber's come off, and even if you feel like you didn't want to take Timber off tactically, but you're forced to take him off. At that point, I'm not just brought another attacker. Why are we going like for like? We keep seeing this keeping it safe business, and that's one part of the whole Arteta thing that frustrates me. And you know me, I advocate for Arteta a lot of the time. I catch a lot of heat for it. Do you know what I'm saying? I've had man wanting to fight me. I've had man calling out my kids and all them rubbish there. But but at the end of the day, the bigger picture is I just have some blind faith. I'll put my hand up and call it blind faith. Do you understand? I have some blind optimism that I feel he's the one to do it. I also feel, a part of me feels if Arteta goes, he goes elsewhere, he gets given what he wants, and he becomes a top-class manager, and he wins and dominates. And then we sort of go, oh, there we go. We had him there, and we let him go, all because we didn't want to stick by him. Now, I always make the analogy of that meme with the guy that's digging for diamonds, and he's so close. He's so close to the diamond, and then he turns around. And it's sort of that feeling that I get. I can't really describe it. Only I think that meme is probably the most perfect meme that I could literally articulate how I feel about Arteta. I feel like if he turns around, that goal that's there, we don't lose it. But now I'm not also not saying if a new manager comes, he's not going to be successful, and I'm not going to back him. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying while we're currently here. It seems like we're on the brink of something, and I use the word seem because evidence has shown that that it is only seem. It just feels like he's the guy. He just feels like he's the guy. The culture at the club has changed from what I recognize it to be for the last how many years. I keep saying, if you go to the games, that toxic that everyone wanted to fight. Now the fight is online. It's not so much in the grounds no more. Do you know what I'm saying? Like he's done a lot. He's done a lot that I can say, you know what? Maybe I'll give you another season. And also, don't take away the fact we've got a director now, a sporting director, who's a serial winner, who's here for business, not here for friends, not here for friendship. And he might actually help Arteta more than Arteta thinks. He might actually be the key to Arteta actually breaking this code that he struggled to break. So for me, just a case about seeing what this summer goes like. And if he gets the resources. Now, the argument is he's had the resources and he's mismanaged them. We spoke earlier about the whole never replacing Aubameyang, Lacazette, got rid of Smith Rowe, got rid of Nketiah, got rid of Reece Nelson, Fabio Vieira, you name it. But he doesn't seem to like this whole attacking side of signings. Everything is players who are versatile, but not really specific or general or specifically molded to one position, not really masters of one position. It seems to sort of be his theme. And until for me, I see this window and I see how this coming window and I see how that's managed, whether it's him or Berta, if that window isn't successful, and even if it is successful, I don't want to just win a successful window. I want to win the league. I want to win a trophy. I don't want to be favorites. I keep saying this. I'm not interested in being favorites starting the season. I want to be champion. I don't care what that looks like, whether you do it with players you've signed or the players that are already there. I don't care. Just get it done. But at this point, it's clear that we do need reinforcements. And I think one thing Egal did say is one thing I touched earlier. Sometimes you look at these moments where if Declan Rice scores that header, if Martinelli, two great chances over the two legs, You don't get those chances in the Premier League. Talk less of a high competition like the Champions League, and you're fluffing your chances. Saka missing that chance. Like it's one of those things you think it just seems to be always be a moment. Will always seem to be a frame behind the moment. You get what I'm saying? So for me, it's just like I'll give him next season, and even if he doesn't get the players he wants, then it just means, you know, he's not trusted by the higher ups, especially with Berta there. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Okay, interesting, man. Look, let's bring in DJ. I know you see things differently with Mikel Arteta. That's why I wanted to bring Stricto and Egal in first.
Yeah.
I feel like Marty's a bit more kind of in between, where I think the rest of us are all on the same page. So I'll let you come in, DJ. What are you saying?
The thing is with Arteta is Egal and Stricto just put their comments in, which is fair enough. But it sounds as if he's only had like one season to put all this right. He's had 5 seasons. He's had so many windows. The windows he's had to rectify the problems that we are seeing now is more than any other manager. He's had the money. Now you're swinging it onto the board. Well, the board's giving him money. His signings, I hear men talking about the signings has had nothing to do with him. They've been his signings. All of these players are his team. They're his team. He knew what needed to be done at the start of last season. He knew. We all knew. Go get me a striker. He didn't do it. The season before last season, when the players were doing the business, apparently, and we was only 2 points behind Man City, these same players played against PSG and still didn't get the job done. You know, it's a joke. The guy that we played yesterday saw Neymar, Messi, Mbappe exit from the club. 18 months later, the guy rocks up in a Champions League final. 18 months. This guy's had 5 years. Make it make sense. I honestly don't know what people are watching here. I don't know why this manager gets so much protection. Someone tell me why this manager is lauded up when he constantly has failure after failure after failure. And then then we go on to his in-game management. Doesn't want to change things. Doesn't want to gamble. Doesn't want to try something different. Just wants to keep playing the same way all the time. Brings on Calafiori. Just coming back from injury. 2 goals down, brings on Calafiori. Got Zinchenko on the bench. Tierney on the bench. Who, by the way, Tierney has got more experience than Skelly. Skelly looked like he'd just seen a ghost yesterday. Tierney sitting on the bench. He's done it all. Done it with Scotland. Won trophies. Look what he's doing to Wanyeri. And then we talk about his man management skills. Look what he's doing to Wanyeri. Probably our most talented attacking player since Bukayo Saka. Not even 30 seconds of football. Not even a minute. Need a goal. Sticks with the captain. Running around in circles. Going missing. Has one shot. Gets it saved. Don't see him for the rest of the game. Kivior, his signing. Bang average player. Would just about make a Brighton team. His signings. Marino. Scores goals. Comes in as a midfield player. Goes up top because we haven't got a striker. Havertz is injured. Still not a striker. So we put Marino up front. For about half a dozen games, he's on adrenaline. Scores goals. Then he gets put into midfield last week in the first leg. Then we look at see what Mourinho's really all about. Then we look at him as a striker yesterday. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Lost. Don't know what to do. Martinelli, balling out under our last manager. Go watch the YouTube clips. Look at the goals the man was scoring. Everyone wanted him. Klopp would have signed him at a drop of a hat. What does this manager do? Tries to sign Mudryk. Martinelli now falls off of a cliff, head first. Can't even. Head down settings. Don't even get his head up. Don't even know what he's doing. Absolutely ordinary. Running into trouble. No output. What does he do? Keep him on the field. Can't change it. Trossard. Not improved him. Declan Rice, don't know whether he's coming or going. 1 minute he's an 8, 1 minute he's a 6. Then he's an 8, then he's a 6. Then he's an 8, then he's a 6. That man had his better days at West Ham, won a trophy, comes to Arsenal, £100 million, nada, nothing. And yet, you've got people defending the undefensible. I've got comments from a channel that I won't mention saying that they'd rather see Arteta's football than George Graham's. Is that an insult? Not only to the players that grace that football field, men like David Rocastle, Paul Merson, Ian Wright, Tony Adams, Nigel Winterburn, Lee Dixon. Yeah? This is the Arteta fan base we have to put up with. Disregarding our history of this football club. Throwing George Graham's 11 brilliant football players and squad in the bin when the man's won all them trophies. Telling people that they'd rather watch Arteta's football than George Graham's. Get out of my club. How dare you?
Facts, DJ. Facts,
You're disrespecting me that was there in 89.
Facts, bro.
Yeah.
Facts. Look, man.
And then, Dan, you got Arteta. You've got this man now, Arteta, and people want to give him another year. And people want to say to me, "Oh, you know, he needs more money. The board ain't backed him." They've backed him. He's had the money. He's had more money than any other manager at this football club. He bought Kai Havertz, puts him on 280 grand a week. That man can't even score over 15 goals in a season. Jesus, dead, finished. Can't get rid of him. 220 grand a week. No one wants to buy him. Why? Because he's had about half a dozen knee surgeries since he's been at the club. And yet we have to put up with this man leading out the team. There's an old saying in football. The buck stops at the manager. He picks the team. He sets the foundations. He sets the tactics. He's in-game management. Everything about whether you blame players or not, it stops at the manager. And any manager would come out with any ilk or with any nous and turn around and say, I'm the manager, I pick the team, it's down to me. This man's press conferences is getting worse. He's got no respect for the teams, none whatsoever. The PSG manager is levels above him, and yet he's turning round and saying that we were the best team in Europe. Make it make sense. If you're the best team in Europe, why aren't you in a final? Why aren't we in a final if you're the best team in Europe?
Maybe it's because the manager ain't good enough.
Make it make sense. And this is what we've got to put up with. We've got to give a guard of honour again to Liverpool on Sunday. They've not even had to get out of bed to win this league. They're going to rock up. We're going to rock up there Sunday. They're going to be chilling. They're going to have barbecues. They're going to have their wives, families there, their kids there. They're all going to be like strolling around the pitch. Arsenal are coming to town. No problem. Predictable. We know how to play against Arsenal. Everyone knows how to play against Arsenal. We've been found out. And the longer it goes on, the more the virus will spread. And the harder for the next manager to put things right at this football club it becomes. There will be players' contracts being run down. There'll be players at the club that we won't be able to move on. Wages will be out of control. He's had the money. And all this about, oh, we didn't strengthen in January is because probably the owners turned around to him and went, yo, you think we're giving you any more money? You think we're giving you any more money? And the reason why Bert has been bought in is because the other clown that walked out the club, Edu, that worked alongside him, was just as bad. Look at the signings. Tavares, Sambi Lokonga, Pablo Mari, Fabio Vieira. I grew up watching people like Frank McClintock, Paul Merson. You think them players are better than them? And going back to the George Graham era, I'm telling you now, half of those players that played with George Graham, I would have had yesterday playing in a heartbeat against PSG. Doesn't make sense. The more you protect this manager, the worse this football club is going to become in not now, but in years to come. No, we are trophyless. Nothing.
We can't. We something. You sometimes just got to say how it is, man. Listen, you're spitting nothing but facts. People, we've hit a new record on the channel. We got over 4,000 people watching, which is absolutely crazy. So please do me a favor. Hit the like button and the subscribe button. If we can get 1,000 likes, we'll hit 40k tonight, which would be amazing if we could do that. So if you've not hit subscribe, please make sure you do that, and then we can celebrate something tonight at least. Look, Yardman, last time we spoke, bro, you and Stricto were literally disagreeing over the kind of future of where we're going. Stricto's had his say tonight, and to be fair to him, he's actually spit some truth, in fact, to where he's at, but he still does believe that he can give him one more year. I guess you've said enough, Yardman, yeah?
Big up to everybody.
Big up, man.
Tony Ken, Marty, BJB, Egal, my brother Stricto. Egal, you need to text me earlier. I keep on waking up in the morning and seeing it.
Well, I was live for 14 hours, man. Surely you get up at some point.
No, I wake up in the morning 5 o'clock to go work, and I said this is the second time you have to text me earlier, so I know, so I can jump off for even half. But big up yourself, man. But yeah, man. You know, I wasn't even gonna come on, to be honest with you. I just want to go somewhere where there's no social media, no phone. I can't even. To be honest with you, I'm worn out now. I'm done. I've been saying this, like, I've been telling people this from. I don't remember what game. I think it was at the West Ham game when the announcement made that we signed Arteta, and me and Curtis was there, and I was saying, no, I don't want him. Robbie asked me, and I said, no, he got experience. Like, why would I want him at this big club? So from the get-go, I personally, nobody could ever get up and say, from the get-go, I did not want him because of the situation where my club is at to where this man is at. This man is not at a club like Arsenal. You need an elite manager. You need a manager who know the know-how.
Hey, bro, fix your microphone,
yeah,
bro.
Have you got a mic, Yardman, at all? There's a lot of people saying your audio isn't great. I don't know if you can move it closer a bit or.
My audio ain't good. Why my audio ain't good? Wait, maybe it's Olan.
Yeah, I'll come back to you, bro.
Yeah.
Let me go to you, Guns. Guns, listen, there's a lot said, to be fair, by, I think, DJ spitting facts. I think, obviously, Stricto and Egal see things rather differently. Whilst this audio is being fixed, what would you like to pick up from what's been said already, bruv?
it's just all nonsense, if I'm honest. Yeah, about he needs time, he needs more money. Berta's coming in, so that's now another excuse to give him a pass for another year. Then what will happen is I've seen so many people say, oh, well, Berta needs to deliver real quick. He needs to deliver straight away. Well, why does he need to deliver straight away and this manager don't after 5.5 years? Yeah, he's had 750 million quid. He's bought over 30 players. There is in-game management, as DJ was saying, is useless. Right? Not only that, yeah, let's just be real with it. The amount of players we have had that have needed surgery under this manager is an absolute fucking disgrace. Yeah, Tomiyasu twice. Shoot. Oh, Isco, you dickhead. He just spanked it. Why are they still attacking? They're 3-2 up with 3 minutes to go. Yeah, but his in-game management's ridiculous. Yeah, the amount of surgeries, Tomiyasu twice, Jesus 4 times, Martinelli once. Who else is there? 29, Saka. Yeah, how many players have done a grade 3 hamstring at this football club under this manager? Why is that? I'll tell you why. Because they're like Olympic sprinters running back defending. Yeah, because this geezer, as I'm bombing back that way at 100 mile an hour, is turned Martinelli from a striker into a touchline fullback. Yeah, up and down the pitch. Same with Saka. Yeah, he's brought in a midfielder, 29. That didn't work, so he put him up front. He went on a purple patch. We didn't win the league because he didn't bother scoring against Aston Villa that day. Yeah, but don't worry, he got 14 and 16 in that run. Yeah, when it really mattered, where was he, mate? Where was he against Bayern Munich? Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, he's been to 7 semi-finals, apparently, or in 7 semi-finals, we scored 1 goal or something, like ties. Yeah, maybe buy this guy some Viagra, mate, because he can only get a semi. Yeah, real talk, yeah, it's absolute bullshit. Yeah, this guy, yeah, I'm sick to death of him, mate. Yeah, and the cult of Arteta, yeah, is bigger than the cult of Arsene Wenger. And I was going in them days. Yeah, people were punching each other up in the stadium. Yeah, but people were punching each other up in the stadium at the weekend. Yeah, I know that factually. I've been told that by 2 or 3 different people in 2 or 3 different blocks in the North Bank. Yeah, there was fights in the North Bank lower. People have had enough. Booze everywhere. Tickets for Newcastle were sold out. Well, they're not anymore, mate. They're all over Ticket Exchange. Yeah, everyone's been using this metric of, oh, well, 8th, 5th, 2nd as a barometer for success. Yeah, we've now sat here tonight and watched 3 teams, Chelsea, Tottenham, and Man United, all get to a final. Oh, but it's not the Champions League. Oh, cool. Well, when we was in the Europa League, this manager got us knocked out by Olympiacos, Villarreal with our former manager, who apparently was shit, and Sporting Lisbon. So if it's that shit a tournament, how comes he couldn't win it then? Yeah, I'm sick to death of it. But don't worry, we got to a semi-final and we beat Real Madrid. When's the parade? Yeah, I'm fucking sick of it. Absolutely sick to death of it. I've never seen in my near 40 years of watching football. I'm 43 next month. About 37, 38 years I've been watching football. I've never seen a more protected manager. Even Fergie weren't this protected. Yeah, look at what he did at Man United. Yeah, Jose weren't protected. Yeah, and when I'm hearing people like Stricto, and it's not just Stricto, there's loads of people say this online. Yeah, oh, he's so close, the diamonds, and all that. And if he turns away, we're going to regret it. I could not give 2 fucks about his career. I care about my football club. Yeah, if he goes and does well somewhere else, good luck to him. Maybe bring him back after that. Yeah, but guess what? Right now, yeah, we're fucked. Yeah, we've got a fan base. Yeah, that anytime you call it out, yeah, you're bombarded with non-stop bullshit and abuse and excuses. Oh, but we had more XG in the semi-final than anyone. Let me tell you why XG is a load of bollocks. Now, I'll tell you why it's a load of bollocks. It don't factor in the defender you're up against, the pressure of the game, yeah, or the player taking the shot. So if you're going clean through in the Champions League semi-final, like Martinelli, for example, or Trossard, or like my ball at Abdi now, oh, off the post, fucking hell. Well, he's missed. If that was La Liga, he might have scored, but the pressure, because it's a semi-final, he's just missed, didn't he? Totally different games. Dead rubbers in the Premier League are completely different, yeah, to Champions League semi, yeah, FA Cup final, finals in general, semi-finals in general, quarter-finals against the worst Bayern team in 12 years. Yeah, it's embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. I'm sick to death of hearing about injuries. Injuries what? What were the only team that have injuries? Oh, but he coached a win. No, he didn't. He coached a 3-1 loss. Oh, but if we had took our chances with the 5 XG that we had, okay, cool. Well, they hit the post to bar and missed a penalty, mate. Yeah, what are we doing here? Oh, and they put one wide as well with Barcola in the first leg. They should have won that first leg about 4-0. Let's just be real with it. Yeah, they were in walking mode, the whole 2 legs. They took that absolute piss out of us like I knew they would. Yeah, and I swear down, yeah, after we see that first leg, and everyone was going, oh, well, Party was a big miss. What did he do yesterday then? What did he do? Because he looked like a fish out of water yesterday. Where was our captain yesterday? Oh, but he had a shot. Well done. Let's give him praise for having one fucking shot in 2 legs. Well done, mate. Yeah, well done. Where was he after that? Didn't see him. Yeah, I'm sick to death of it. How long does this go? Yeah, and then all I hear is give him 1 more year. Get him his striker. He don't want a striker. How many times you got to hear this? He does not want a striker. He has not signed a striker since he has been here. He wants a midfielder that can play up front to then drop back into midfield to overload the midfield. That is why he's so fixated on this inverting. Yeah, now he's got a midfielder playing at left back when our best left back sat on the bench all game. We're playing a geezer up front as a midfielder. Yeah, because the other midfielder that's playing up front's injured because he's running him into the ground, tracking back all the time. Yeah. So if you're going to play that 6'3" fucking Mikel Merino up front, why don't you get a geezer on the ball that can cross it? Yeah, the best crosser of the ball at our club is Kieran Tierney. He's the best left back at the club as well by a mile.
Facts.
Yeah. Guess what? He's walking out for free. Party could be going for free. Like, fuck Jorginho's going. What a waste of 20-odd million quid that was for the wages and the fee. Yeah, what a waste. Oh, but don't worry. He offered up his services yesterday and thought he'd come along for the ride. What are we doing here? Then he comes out and has the fucking audacity after that game to say that the PSG bench told him we were the better team. He's a liar. Yeah, he's a liar. Luis Enrique muddied him in that press conference afterwards. He's a liar, mate. Nobody told him that. Then Declan Rice. Yeah, Declan Rice coming out saying, well, we've had five, 6 key players out injured this season. Really? Well, you're a key player. What the fuck have you done? Oh, you missed some sitters when it mattered. Really? Okay, you missed some sitters. But you scored a couple of free kicks that you'll live off for the rest of your life. Yeah, well done, mate. Yeah, this fan base go off at the last moment against a big club or the last season. Yeah. Oh, it's unprecedented what's happened. And next week, when we play Newcastle, buy your new shirt day at the Emirates, and everyone will be queuing outside the fucking Armoury for 4 hours to get in the fucker. Yeah. I swear down, that manager will stand on the pitch with all them players that are injured. Guarantee all them players will come out and they'll all be injured. They'll all be wheeled out on their Zimmer frames, yeah, and their crutches. Oh my God, guys, it's all right. I walked out, guys. It dawned on me. I've got 7 players out injured. Well, let me tell you the 7 before I shut up, yeah? Let me tell you the 7. Tommy Yasu has been out injured for over 600 days at this club. Rip his contract up, fuck him off his shit. Bye-bye. Gabby Jesus, nobody wanted him to start this season. This manager rushed that geezer back, yeah, after he'd done a knee injury, an ACL. We were 8 points clear. Trossard was doing well, player of the month, so on and so forth. He rushes him back. We bottled the tight. We need another knee surgery. He's then had another 2 since. He's killed his career. Done. Rip his contract up. Bye-bye. Yeah, worked with Aubameyang, worked with Ozil, worked with all these other players. The Knicks super duper Mick did it. We'll do it again then. Yeah, let me tell you the other one. Calafiori, yeah? Really, the wild horse is fun to watch. Can he defend? No. Cool. But he can model the merch though, guys. He can model all the merch. He's got lovely tattoos and his long flowing mane of hair. Piss off. Just say you fancy him. Yeah, real talk. Yeah, who else was there? Thomas Partey included in that 7. Well, he got himself booked, so he weren't injured. 29. Oh, yeah, 29. He's that good up front. Our fan base, all of us on this panel as well, and everyone else that supports the club, and everyone else in world football that supports football teams, can see that we need a striker. So if he's that fucking good, why do we need a striker then? Yeah, what are we doing here? Yeah, Gabby Magalhaes. Fair enough, I'll give him that one. But again, this comes back to previous transfer windows. Why didn't he put Kieran Tierney at centre-back? He plays it for Scotland. Why didn't he put him in there? Yeah, Ben White. Yeah, he played him at the start of the season, yeah, with the knee surgery required. He played him for 3 months. He's then had knee surgery. He's not going to be the same player ever again. We can see that already. Then he has the audacity to sit in a press conference and go, well, guys, we haven't had Ben all season. He's not played all season, guys. Yes, he had. He played the first 3 months of the season. What are you lying for? Not one of these dickheads that gets in that press conference calls him out on it. Not one. Yeah, it's a cult. You call him out, you're out. You're not coming back. Gal Davis learned her lesson. She was banned for about 8 months. Never see her again for 8 months. I have had it up to here, mate. Yeah? Any other club the people that back this manager have higher standards for other teams, Tottenham, other players, Harry Kane, so on and so forth. Let's laugh at Spurs. They're 16th. Yeah, well, they're in the final, mate. You better hope they don't fucking win it. And if they do win it, I know what your excuses will be, guys. Yeah, cool. Yeah, well, look at where they finished in the league. I'd rather have our season than theirs. We're close to the cusp of greatness. Get out of here. Trophies are greatness. Trophies are success. Trophies are the barometer for progress. That's it. That's all I want to say.
Spitting. I've got to be honest with you. Before I bring Yardman back in, Kenny and Marty, you've been waiting patiently, and I appreciate that. Let's start with you, Marty. Last night you was with us, mate. We were watching it together, and kind of looked at each other in the end and said, "Season over, season done." Where are you at? Does he deserve another season?
I'll be honest with you, mate. I'm still pretty disappointed after last night. I mean, in ways it's to be expected, because when I watched Inter and Barcelona, the nights, the first leg and then the second leg, the reality of the situation is when I watched those teams and I watched those games playing, there was a huge part of me that knew that Arsenal Football Club is currently miles off that level. Either one of those teams, I believe, does a demolition job on us in ways. I mean, on our day, listen, we can beat anyone, but to get through, PSG, they're always dangerous, and then to either, obviously it would have been Milan if it was in the final. They're a top side. They've got, serious artillery. They bring a player off the bench and they wrap it up in injury time. The amount of goals that were scored, and their goalkeepers had top games in that game. Don't forget that. It was end-to-end stuff, and I just don't think we're able at the moment to compete with that. Listen, I'm neither in or out to it. I'm not really about that at the moment. For me, he is, he's going to be in situ next season, whether we like it or not. And we can all sit here and, say this and say that. It's just the facts of, how I see it. I'd be very, very surprised if he gets sacked, or he's not there throughout all the next season. I do believe at the end of next season, if he does not win anything, I do believe that situation will change. And when you look at his career as a player, he never really won much. And obviously this being his first managerial job, and in some ways the cracks are starting to show, maybe. But look, you've got to kind of, I feel, fair in this situation that Berta coming in, and I'd like to see us bring in a variety of players in the summer. I think if that business isn't done very quickly, it will show inadequacies, and it will show a level of foolishness. These deals need to be done and done quickly. We know what we need, and you can't go into next season. I think that we definitely need 5 key players if we're going to consider winning anything and pushing forward. And we all know what those players are, so you don't need me to rattle them off. And I think DJ makes a really good point. When I grew up watching George Graham's Arsenal, generally 90% of the time, to be honest, I did like the football. And we won stuff, and we were solid. And those teams did have their bad games, of course they did. But Arsenal were a completely different outfit. They were solid, they were resolute, and they were winners, and they had class, and they did it in style. And then when I looked at Bruce Rioch's Arsenal, it was just a load of absolute toilet. And then we move on to Wenger, and there were some absolutely fantastic years there. Awesome, unbelievable. History stuff, like the stuff that will never be done again. But then there was also another nasty side of it, which was terrible. And then obviously the similar with Emery, there were some good bits, but there were some bad bits. Now with Mikel Arteta, when I look at this football, albeit there are some absolutely amazing beatings that we've given teams, Sporting Lisbon, Manchester City, Real Madrid, and stuff like that. But the problem really at the high end of the competition, when you get into semi-finals and finals of the Champions League, and you get into the last few games of a Premier League season, or you get into that title running, that underbelly, that soft underbelly, and that real spine, and that ability to just finish it off, that's what I am starting to question. And that's not by me saying he's the wrong man for the job. I really do hope this guy proves everyone right or wrong. And he goes on and, you know, in his 6th year or whatever, you know, he goes and does what Alex Ferguson did in, you know, 92 or whatever it was, you know, because it took him a few years. But the thing with Alex Ferguson then is he had won plenty of stuff before, you know, he'd won stuff at Aberdeen. And so it's quite, for me, quite conflicting in those ways. Yeah, it's just disappointing to get so close so far last night in that competition. And Dan, like you said, we were sat next to each other watching it, and it's like the season's done. And I think Lee made a really good point of that, about no doubt the club will, you know, release their brand new shirts for next season, and everyone will be, you know, queuing up for them. And the disappointing thing as an Arsenal fan is the amount of money you spend on merchandise, season tickets to watch Arsenal Football Club and support this club. And you know, you've got Manchester United, either Man City or Palace, Liverpool, Tottenham or Manchester United, all coming out with silverware, and we're walking away
Newcastle.
empty-handed this season. And we're
What was that,
disappointed.
Yardman?
And we're
Newcastle.
disappointed and frustrated.
Oh, Newcastle, yeah, sorry.
And you know, and that's where I am. I'm deflated from the. Could we have beaten PSG? Yeah, we could have. We had clinical chance. You know, we had chances. We weren't clinical. But they weren't taken. And it's when you get to these latter stages, and that's what I've been thinking about today, is latter stages of competitions, and there's just this. We just ain't doing it. We just haven't done it. And does that involve us needing a change of manager? Yes, we have had a load of injuries, and I think we've had 12 first team players that make the first team squad injured and unavailable for a period of time, 7 games or more. But then what's going on behind the scenes? Why are these players? Because I remember we had this under Wenger, and I remember Manchester United had it at a point, and your medical staff in your back room, and how you're treating and basically redlining your players. Like this has been brought up about Havertz. Havertz got played in every single game. It's been absolutely, you know, like Raya. We're lucky Raya ain't been injured, because Neto, I mean, he played one game and we all know what happened there. Now, we've been really fortunate with Raya that we've got away with having him injury-free all season. He is one player that hasn't been injured, because if he had have, then we'd have been banging trouble. And also, you know, he's playing every single game. And even in the years when I was younger and I watched in the 90s, they still rotate goalkeepers for cup competitions and stuff like that. You know, it was only in the early seasons of David Seaman that he wasn't rotated, and he played basically every single game. So, yeah, I think we need a big summer from Arsenal Football Club to go into this next season with hope. And it sounds absolutely crazy. From literally 24 hours ago, we're now talking about I'm now thinking about next season. I'm literally just going to be turning up at the next game, the Newcastle game, just because obviously I've got a ticket for the game, but there's nothing riding on it apart from, and then you've got, I'll be on watching it with you at the Liverpool game, Dan, and it's hard to get up for that. And then you add in the guard of honor and stuff like that from Liverpool, which is just a bit of a bitter pill to swallow, right? And it's just, and then you've got Tottenham and Man U in a final where you're like, really, is that what this season's about? And it was so optimistic at the beginning of the season, and it was so right, we're going to do this and we're going to do that, but we ain't done it. We just haven't. And we had a great opportunity, and Liverpool winning the league at an absolute canter, like literally destroying the league. They could end up finishing at 18 points clear, which is a phenomenal margin. And that Liverpool team ain't the Manchester United teams. It ain't the same team. They're Manchester United teams that used to win it by that sort of deficit. They were phenomenal teams. I'm not saying this Liverpool team ain't a good team, because it is, but it's not on them levels. And that's the bitter pill to swallow, and that's the kick in the teeth, and that's where I'm at. And I think I need to see some hope from Arsenal Football Club before I get really up for next season. That's where I'm at.
Marty, fair play to you, bro. Fair play to you. You say it how it is. You say it how you see it. And I will see you at the weekend for a very pointless game. Look, Kenny, I want to bring you in. I want to ask you a question. Why have we not won nothing this season, Kenny? Simply.
Well, because we haven't deserved to. This season we haven't looked this season. Our standards have fallen off by a wayside. In the league, the better players haven't turned up this season, and that was way before we had injuries. Odegaard's been off form most of this season. He was one of our main players the last couple of seasons. Declan Rice hasn't got started. Declan Rice has only started playing well in the last couple of months. That's facts. Martinelli towards the end of last season was beginning to go off the boil. This season he's been completely off the boil. He's made a slight improvement, but yesterday showed me, this is the Martinelli that we've been seeing all season. And most importantly, the fact is that teams have managed to have a way of playing, and we just can't break them down. If teams play with mid to low block, we struggle, especially at the Emirates Stadium. You think about our performance at the Emirates Stadium. You even go back to the last couple of games, in the league. Crystal Palace, if they had more ambition, would have won the game. Brentford, if they had more ambition, won the game. And Bournemouth showed it how it's done. That's the fact. We don't scare teams any longer. You can talk about VAR and referee decisions, but you look at the stats. Goals for gone down considerably. Our top goal scorer in the league is still Kai Havertz. Yet Kai Havertz hasn't been playing. Has been injured since. He was injured on tour in January. That says a lot about our form this season. And then you go to the League Cup. Newcastle comfortably beat us, as far as I can see. They had the perfect game plan. The midfield was better than us on both home and away, and up top they had Isak, and that's why they won the game. And then let's not talk about Man United in the third round of the cup. That are 10 men, yes, 10 men. Yet they managed to negotiate a win against us, and even during the penalty shootout, they're the ones who were bouncing up and down, with confidence. And our players just went heads down. It's been like a complete catastrophe. The only thing that was keeping us going was the Champions League. And I've said many times, and I messaged Egal, and Egal replied, and I said, we better win this Champions League. Because if we don't win this Champions League, what we're going to do is that we're going to analyse the season in every competition we've entered, and we're going to have meetings like this, because at the end of the day, essentially the Champions League would have paper over the cracks, because our main focus this season, and our main focus was never the Champions League, was the league. We felt that we were the next cab of the rank on the basis that Man City were either going to have a major points deduction or they were going to drop their standards. So the only team that was close enough to Man City is Arsenal. That was the goal this season. Any Arsenal fan who will say that the Champions League was the goal is a complete and utter liar. It was always the league. I still believe that to be the best, you have to win the league, because there's no argument that you're the best. Over 38 games, you've managed to either play good football, grind out results, and come through adversity. The Champions League is a cup competition. Don't get me wrong. It's the best of the best. But the league was our goal, and we failed miserably. There's one person in this panel, and there's other Arsenal fans who stated categorically, if Liverpool win the league, the manager needs to be replaced.
Who was that? Who said that?
I'm not mentioning names. This is a serious point. I'm not digging anyone out. I'm just saying that every year it's always giving one more year, giving 2 more years. We hear the same sort of analysis. Oh, look where you were before and look where we are now. Well, I'm sorry. This is Arsenal Football Club, for God's sake. We're the third biggest club in the country. Yet we talk about as if we're Plymouth or Portsmouth, for God's sake. I was talking to a Liverpool player after Paris Saint-Germain in the first leg. And the thing that he said is that we have doubts whether your manager can take him over the line. This is a Liverpool player who was saying this. And if you compare us to Liverpool,
wow,
the mentality is night and day. They have to win trophies. Their goal is to win the Champions League and the league. Now, they didn't win it for 30 years. Yeah, But in the last 5 years, they won it twice. And they're the real rivals to Man City, not us. We are bottlers. In 2023, we were 8 points ahead under this man, and we bottled it. Did we play any big teams? No. We drew home and away to soon to be relegated Southampton. Were we calling for it? People backing up Arteta? Silence. Last season, even when we drew at Man City, we still had it in our hands. And that's a fact because we had superior goal difference and Man City were 2 points behind. What happened? When the pressure got to us against Aston Villa, we floundered. Oh, let's even rewind back to 22-23. Sorry, to 21-22 season. When the crowds came back. When Spurs were points behind us. We even contrived to even mess it up because we lost consecutive games to Southampton and Crystal Palace, and I think it was Brighton. And then somehow we got ourselves back into the thing because we Man United and Chelsea and Spurs were like and ahhing. And then when it came to the pressure game in the North London derby in 21-22, we got beaten. And then we went to Newcastle and the white flag went out against Newcastle. Had nothing to play for. And this is the theme under this manager. You can talk about process and progress, but when it comes to the pressure situations, he has failed on every occasion in the last few years, and this year included. We're not going to call it this year because we were never in the title race. Any Arsenal fan who says we're in the title race is a complete and utter pork chop because we were never in the title race. Stop lying to yourself and saying, oh, let's celebrate second. Well, you're struggling for second. You guys talk about progression, but if we don't finish second, what is that? Are you gonna move the goalpost again? You're gonna give him another year because that's all I hear from you guys. Always give him one more year. If he doesn't do this, he's gonna get sacked. If Liverpool don't win the league, he's got to be sacked. Well, Liverpool won the league, and you still want him to stay. So please help me out here. And another thing I need to say as well, even if you're Arteta in or Arteta out, he's had 6 years, and that is the normal cycle for a manager across Europe, the European leagues. Even the managers who win things, managers think they're making the same. But at Arsenal, there's evidence this man can't take us over the line. But yeah, give him 1 more year. Give him 2 more years. We've got Nicolas Berta in now. So now we've got Nicolas Berta. Oh, him and Arteta are going to work together. They're going to get this player and that player. It's always if only. So with Arsenal Football Club in this era, we are could have, would have, if only, might have been. We're very unlucky. It's always a sliding doors moment with Arsenal Football Club, and I'm sick of it. You're either a big club and you actually define yourself by trophies, or you're just basically another Premiership club who hopes to be great. We're either a big club or not. If you want to be the former, a club that hopes to be great, then stop slagging off Tottenham. Stop laughing at Man United. All right, and own the fact that you now see yourselves as a club that is on the up, rather than accepting you're a big club. If it's too heavy for you guys, then jog on. Leave the ambitions to the fans who want to win, and let's get a proper man in. Because yes, this man has left good foundations. He's left good players, but unfortunately, the evidence states that he isn't the man to take us further. And please, don't you dare ask me, who do we get in? All I've got to say to you right now, I'm not going to swear because there's kids about, but you know my words, and it's 2 syllables. Don't you dare ask me that. Don't you dare.
Facts, Kenny. I love it, man. I love it.
It's nonsense. Who do we get in? When you know full well there are managers out there who can take us further. Why don't you just come out and say, I don't want anyone else. I want Mikel Arteta. Don't you dare ask me who do we get in or it's on.
Facts, Kenny. Nothing but facts, bro. Nothing but facts. This is now free for all. I'm not going to come to anyone, but I am going to read out this comment that I was asked to put to Egal. Egal tonight. Egal is the same person who puts Arsenal players in everyone's combined 11s, but now that the team can't win, he's blaming those players and saying they're not good enough. Make it make sense.
It's very simple. Did I put anybody in the front 3 besides Bukayo Saka? I don't think so. I don't think anybody here would have put Martinelli, Mikel Moreno, Kai Havertz, or any of those guys in PSG's front three. Also, you guys speak about PSG and that manager being here for what, 3 years?
Oh, here we go. Yeah, he spent more money than Mikel Arteta. How much did Bournemouth manager spend? Nobody cares
He
about.
spent 840
Nobody
million
cares. What have they
in
won?
3 years.
What have they won?
No, because you guys keep talking about money spent.
Okay, cool. How much has Crystal Palace manager spent,
You
mate?
guys keep talking about 65 million for Kai Havertz. Well,
How
they
much
got
has the
65
Palace manager
they
spent?
got a
Answer the
65
question.
million Gonzalo Ramos, who doesn't even start. So I'm just
Answer the
saying,
question. How much has the Palace manager spent? Because he's in a final as well, mate.
No. We're not.
How much? No, we're not going to do that because it falls your argument
When
down.
they talk about combined 11s and all this other stuff, fair play. I have made some stupid combined 11s with Real Madrid in the past, and I keep wanting.
So it's up between Ben White and
Right?
Carvajal, yeah?
Right? But one thing I will tell you guys is the attack has been the issue this whole season. Now, if you guys want to criticize Arteta for his man management or decision making in game or little things like that, fair play. I get it. But the attacking weaknesses that we have, at a certain point, it gets to a point where even if you have the greatest manager, you're not going to win with Mikel Moreno.
Okay, cool. So you're not going to win with Ben White and Calafiori coming on the pitch when Ethan and Sterling are starting to fucking bench and you need a goal, are you? What are we doing here?
You're going to play Sterling?
Yeah. Well, throw the dice, have a go, do something. We're going out anyway, mate.
Bro, at this point, Sterling is no good anymore.
But Ben White that's not fully fit, and Calafiori has just come back, literally just come back from injury years.
Calafiori is a better attacking option than Raheem Sterling.
Well, is it? Are they okay? Are they all better than Ethan and Wary in the second position then? Because he didn't get a fucking kick. He literally got no minutes yesterday.
Guess what, Lee? I don't disagree with you there. And you know what? I'm not one of these people who are going to.
Yeah, but you take the exception and make it the rule.
But Arteta did not get outclassed over the two legs.
Yes, he did.
He didn't. What happened was PSG were.
Why is he not in the final then?
Because PSG were clinical and we weren't.
No,
PSG were not clinical.
The money they have spent.
PSG, the three goals that they scored, they had to be extremely clinical to score those goals.
They missed a penalty as a free shot from 12 yards. They hit the bar. They hit the post. They missed an absolute sitter in the first leg from Bukola. They had put it wide. He was clean through.
Name how many chances we missed.
Okay, so we had Martinelli's chance. Well, that may or may not have been offside. We don't know because it didn't go in, so they didn't VAR it. But it looked close. Let's say it was onside. We had the Trossard chance. Yeah, we had the Odegaard chance. Yeah. And what? Saka
Two more from Declan Rice.
Of the Declan Rice. Cool. Fantastic. They also scored 3 goals ago. So I've just named all the chances that they've missed. Add 3 goals.
No. Arsenal had
Okay.
Arsenal had more than 7 chances in this time.
Well, let this just sink in.
Inter Milan scored 7 over 2 legs. We had 7 chances.
Compared to the rest of the 3 teams in the Champions League that were remaining, let's be honest, we had the weakest attack out of the.
We had the weakest attack, the weakest manager, the weakest squad. Yeah, the weakest fan base. Yeah, because I'll tell you now, you know Judge Mo. Yeah, Judge Mo said if they were getting knocked out with 3 minutes to go, he said if he gets knocked out, sack him. Yeah, if you don't win the league or the Champions League,
because he's about to bottle. Because
if he don't win the league or the Champions League, sack him. He's seen this team in a Champions League final 2 years ago, and the current league winners.
He also said if Inzaghi leaves, he would take Arteta in a heartbeat.
Good. Well, let's do a swap deal then, mate, and see how you get on. Yeah, well, because he got rid of Mkhitaryan, but he's still running around midfield, mate.
Let's just land this stat. Spurs have been to 2 European Cup finals in the last 6 years with a fraction of the money Arsenal have had to spend.
Wow.
Who? Inter?
Spurs. 2 European Cup finals in 6 years with a fraction of the money that Arteta has had to spend.
Get out of here, bro. What are you talking about? You don't know what you're talking about. Spurs have spent more than us over the last 2 years. Over the last
6 years.
6 years.
2 European finals. 2 European finals.
Since Arteta's been here, Spurs spent more money than us. I don't know what you're chatting shit about.
Okay. All right.
In the last 6 years.
Let me just say something. Let me just say something on your point.
Spurs factually spent more than us. And DJB, I would not be looking at
Spurs right now. All the time.
I would not be jealous of Spurs.
They were all on their knees last year. It's nearly a year anniversary. 5 more days, 6 more days. They were all on their knees, still flunging together.
Also, Egal. What does it say about Arteta when you reckon a defender is better than Sterling, who's an attacker? Who, by the way, Arteta signed Sterling, and yet you're sitting there telling me that Calafiori, who's a defender, is a better attacking option than Sterling.
DJB, are you jealous of Spurs being in the European Cup final? Is that what?
Sorry?
Yeah.
Are you jealous? Spurs are in the
I'm
European
angry.
Cup final?
I'm angry they're in the European Cup final, and I'm going to watch. And Liverpool on Sunday. We've got to give them a guard of honour. What do you mean? I'm jealous. Of course, I'm
You're
jealous.
jealous of
I'm
Spurs.
angry, jealous, upset, everything, whatever you want to call it.
I couldn't
See,
give it.
this
I
is the
couldn't
thing.
give
You
a shit.
couldn't give a shit, and that is the point.
What
No,
true
that is the
Arsenal
point.
want to be jealous and upset that Spurs are in a final? True Arsenal fans,
I would not be sitting here talking about standards and trying to win major honors and then be jealous that they're in the Europa League final. Because in order to be in the Europa League final, you had to have finished 5th or 6th or be shit in the league. So I would rather my team have a higher standard and be competing in the Champions League semi-finals and later stages.
win nothing.
When we was in it, you would have accepted.
Hold on.
Cook magic. Cook.
What are you talking about, fam? What are you smoking?
Okay,
What part do you disagree with? Now, hold on. Listen, please. Whenever you are playing anything, team sports, you are competing for trophy. Yeah? Now, I would rather play in the Europa League next season than the Champions League because I got more chance of winning a Europa League title trophy than winning the Champions League. I don't care if we're going to attract bigger name player. When we're in the Champions League, we're going to get more money. I don't care about that. I care about ticking over trophy. We have never, a Cup Winners' Cup, nobody talk about that. Okay? So let's put that aside. We have never won the Europa League. Why is it that we can't go there and win the Europa League? Do you go and ask, although they're a smaller club than us, but go and ask West Ham how they feel lifting that Conference League. Go and ask them.
Okay, I'm sorry. Is this a unanimous thing? Does everyone agree with this? That you'd rather be in the Europa League next season?
Yeah. Hold on. Listen.
Hold on. Are you not saying?
No.
Are you not saying you'd rather be in Europa
Spurs.
League final than the Champions League final?
We're not in either.
But we're not
and
at the
Spanish
Champions
has not
League
been in
final.
either.
We're not.
No, they're saying they would rather be in the Europa League next season because we have a better chance of winning it than the Champions League.
Because we be in the Europa League next season. We be in the Europa League.
You lot are mad. For people that talk about standards of clubs, you lot are mad. You'd rather be in Europa. Let me understand. Hey, Yardman, I beg you, lock off your thing. You might think you're on a call. Restart that because your thing starts sounding mad, bro. Lock off your thing and come back. But what I'm saying is, we can't be talking about holding a club and wanting higher standards of football. And then I'm hearing man talk about you'd rather be in Europa. Because of what?
Stricto, standards of trophies. Doesn't matter what the trophy is, as long as it's a professional trophy. Yeah, we haven't won one for 1,741 days. Spurs, by the way, hold up. Spurs, by the way, we haven't won a trophy for 1,741 days. It's now gone midnight my time, so it's 1,742. Right? We're all sitting there fuming. Yeah, that we got to go and give a guard of honour to Liverpool that we all considered weren't going to finish above us this season. Every single person on this panel, we can actually agree on that. We didn't think they'd win the league. Yeah, we can all say that. Yeah. Now we've watched Chelsea get to a Europa Conference League final. We've just watched Man United get to their full final in 3 seasons. Right, they've been to 9 in about 10 years, and they've been shit for 10 years. And they've still got to 9 finals. Right now, we've watched Tottenham get there. The winner of that. Yeah, and Palace, by the way, are in a final. The worst Man City team in a decade are in a final. Newcastle beat us en route to a final. Yeah, we're the only top 6 team not to get to a final this season. Yeah, but don't worry, we beat Real Madrid and we finished second, maybe. Right? One of them two. Hang on, let me land. No, it's not. It's 11 players against 11 players plus the bench. Yeah, you have to beat what's in front of you. We couldn't and do it enough to get to a final. That team, them 2 teams, one of them is going to the UEFA Super Cup final, by the way. So one of them has the potential to win 2 trophies in Europe, which, by the way, equals our fucking pedigree in Europe in our entire history. Yeah, are you not angry about that? Because if you're not angry about that, then for me, you're part of the problem. Because I'm angry that Chelsea are there, Spurs are there, Man United
I can't understand you man just talking about. I can't understand you man just talking about us playing in Europa. Then, if that's what we're saying, let's get relegated and play in the Championship. Maybe we can win that and win a title and get promoted. I don't understand.
You see this suit here? You have no logic. You're still not even understand what we're saying. Hold on, listen to what we're saying here.
what we're saying here, yeah, we stand a better chance if we play in the Europa League. Nobody said that we want to play in the Europa League. But we're just saying, if we're in the Europa League, we have a better chance.
Brother, we were in it.
And yes, your problem is you don't listen. That is a problem. We are talking about turning over trophy in Europe. When European night come and they are singing that we never win nothing in Europe, yeah. What we're saying here, we are playing in Europa League because I see Manchester United and Tottenham in a final. Fam, that trigger my PTSD.
Facts.
To a level where it gone sky high. My cold sweat wash me. You know why? If Tottenham ever go and win that, fam, do you know? I don't even know. I don't even know the word in the dictionary. Do you know how embarrassing that look to see Tottenham, the worst season they have in over maybe 100 years, apart from when them get relegated, yeah? And they winning a trophy, yeah? Man City, yeah? Man City, everybody can sit here and say, Man City stink up the Premier League this season because nobody expected Man City to do what they do in the Premier League. People expected Man City to be challenging or up there, challenging or winning the league. Yeah, but listen to what I'm saying to you, and I did say this to you about 3 weeks ago. Man City have more win than Arsenal. Oh, embarrassing that is. Oh, embarrassing. Take a look and look back. Go and reflect back on your manager, what he is doing. Yeah,
brother. We had
Stricto. I don't want to hear you. Stricto.
We had this conversation, bro.
Stricto.
We had this conversation, bro.
I don't want to hear you. Listen and learn. Because you're
I'll let you speak.
Hold on. No.
Go on, speak, man. Speak.
You listen and learn. You are backing failure.
Speak.
You see when Jose Mourinho come out and say that you are a specialist in failure, people like you is speaking to.
Yardman.
People like you are failure. Because I don't know what people gonna tell me. I don't give a toss. Mikel Arteta come and where does he take our club was in disarray, people's fight? Listen to me, yeah.
Brother, speak, man. Fucking hell, man. You talk about listen. I'm listening. Speak.
You're gonna speak.
All you've said is listen. I'm letting you speak. All you've said is listen. I can't listen to you telling me to listen. Speak.
You're gonna speak gibberish, yeah?
Brother, you said I should listen. All I did was listen to you telling me to listen, brother. Speak.
Lee.
All right, speak. Speak.
Last night, we have 15 minutes to go. We're down 2. And I'm thinking to myself, here's a time for Mikel Arteta to show what he's worth. You have Wanere on the bench. You have Raheem Sterling on the bench. I wouldn't take off Martinelli. Yeah, I wouldn't take him off. Yeah. And I would have take off Kibio and bring on Trossard and keep Martinelli because we are chasing the game. If we lose a game 10-0 last night, it doesn't matter. We was going out anyway. So take off take off all the keeper and put on an attacker. This is what you do when you know about football. Throw the kitchen sink at PSG. Last night, Timber coming off, and this is what you see what drive me nuts. The brother keep on doing it over and over. It's not the first and not the second. From the Premier League start this season, we've been chasing game, wanted goal, and it keep on taking off left back for left back, right back for right back, midfield for midfield. It keep on doing it. Last night, why Benjamin White on the pitch? Why? And 1 year on the bench. You understand. Make it make sense to me. Why Raheem Sterling on the bench? Because a lot of people are going to talk about, Raheem Sterling is done, is this. Listen, if you're not getting a run at game, you're not going to have that form. Raheem Sterling is a very experienced player. One of 2 players play for the 4 biggest clubs in England. And Raheem Sterling is one of them. So don't sit there and tell me that, the guy, as soon as him come to Arsenal, Is waste?
He's been waste at Chelsea. That's why they parted ways with him. He's been been dead.
Chelsea
fuck that Raheem Sterling argument.
Chelsea have 3 first team. So Chelsea can
listen.
Listen,
fuck that Raheem Sterling argument. Yeah, don't die on that hill. Fuck that Raheem Sterling. Me and you spoke yesterday. Me and you spoke yesterday, bro. Yeah, I agreed with everything you said. I agreed with the fact that he's doing a like-for-like substitution when we could have thrown the kitchen sink. I agreed that Nwaneri should have got at least 15, 20 minutes in that game. At least.
We should have started.
Second consecutive game where we needed energy. We needed someone who wasn't scared, someone who's youthful, someone who's skillful, someone who's one of the most promising talents in the Premier League. And you leave him out. Yes, I agree.
That's why your manager is shit. That's why your manager is shit.
But let's go back to what you're saying. You're saying that you rather us play in Europa. Let me speak now. I'll let you speak. You said you hold on. I'll let you speak. You said you rather us play in Europa than the Champions League because we got more chance. I've had to watch people banter us for playing Europa and even banter us more because we didn't win it.
So why does it bother you if people ban? Hold on. Why does it bother? No, hold up again.
No. Yardman, you have to answer that.
Why does it bother you?
Answer that.
Okay, no,
you have to answer that, Yardman. Now come out your mouth.
What I'm saying to you, if we go in the Europa League and we win it, and they're in the parade in Ivory, you're gonna tell me you're not gonna be there? Are you gonna be there? Answer the question now. Are you gonna be there?
No. There's a difference between. Hold on. There's a difference in winning a trophy than saying you want to go and play in a lower competition. There's a difference.
I don't want to be in the Europa League.
There's a difference.
Okay, good lads. One at a time. While Dan steps away. Yeah, now I'll let you go. But one at a time. Yeah, because it's just going to get into a shouting match. And Dan steps away.
My main issue is it comes off as Lee and Yardman. You're both saying you would rather Arsenal be in the Europa League next season when we were just currently in a semi-final of the Champions League, and we're going to go strengthen and get a striker and a left winger.
You said that last year.
And in case DJ
Egal, I'm sick and tired of you waffling to me right now. Come on, man.
What did I say that you didn't say? Did you not say you wanted to be in the Europa League?
Listen to what I'm saying to you. Your manager need to win a trophy. So at least put him to the lowest one. Let him try and win that one and build confidence. Let the player them realize, okay, we can win.
He's your manager, but it's your club that's gonna play in that. It's your club that's gonna play in that lowest league.
Straight.
It might be the manager, but it's your club that's gonna play that. So you prefer.
Let me ask you a question.
Let's get relegated. How about this? Let's get relegated and then flip and win the thing, and then get promoted. Let's get relegated.
Stricto, calm down 1 second, yeah. If we had got to that League Cup final, you would have been at the final, yes or no?
Of course, I would have been.
Thank you. So hold up.
That's not the case here. That's not the argument. The argument is you would rather win something that is smaller.
I'd rather win everything because all trophies are equal. A trophy is a trophy.
No. A trophy is not a trophy. They're different. They're different. Trophies are different. You think Real Madrid win Europa? You think Real Madrid win Europa? Their fans will be lined up in the street.
Okay, let me ask you a question then. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question then.
There's a reason why we have a Champions League.
When Pep Guardiola came into Man City,
they're all different. They're not just.
And we don't win fucking any of them, bro. We don't win none of them.
Yes, they're trophies, but they're not the same thing.
We don't win anything. We don't win nothing. We don't win any of them.
But brother, that's a different argument. That's not what you're saying. You're saying you rather have the chance of winning something small because you can be the bigger fish in a smaller pond.
Yes, because that's a start. And I'll tell you exactly why. If you stop shouting over me, yeah? When Jose went to Chelsea, it just come off the back of a fucking treble. Yeah, he had no right to win that treble. So when I hear about, oh, well, they've outspent us. Well, Benfica and Sporting have fucking outspent them. Yeah, he's still done a treble. He beat Inter Milan. Yeah, he beat Man United. We all know, not Inter Milan. Barcelona, was it Barcelona or was that Inter? Either way, whatever. Yeah, my point is, he had no right to win a fucking treble, especially the Champions League. Forget the domestics. Yeah, whatever. They're still the smallest club out of the three, right?
So who's the small club? I didn't hear that. Who's the small club?
Porto were the smallest club out of the three.
So did fucking Greece won the fucking
Okay. So
European
hold
fucking cup.
on
So
and
did
listen to what
fucking
I'm
Greece.
saying without cutting me off.
What did Greece have the right to win the
Can I
fucking
finish my point?
Euros? It happens, bro.
Okay, so if you let me finish my point. He's just come off of the back of a treble. He strolls into Chelsea. What was the first trophy he won? Oh, the League Cup.
Okay.
Why did he win the League Cup? Mentality. We can get over the line now. Now that gives you a run for the league. When Pep Guardiola, by the way, who done a treble as well, won fucking everything at Bayern, apart from the
League Cup.
won everything.
League Cup first.
4 in a fucking row. And then he went, we got bigger fish to fry. We'll go and win a treble. We're sitting there going, bigger fish to fry to the little ones. We don't win nothing.
Do you agree with that,
something.
Stricto?
Okay,
Do you agree with that, Stricto?
That's a different point. Let's be real. That's a different point. Jose Mourinho coming and winning the League Cup, coming and winning the Premier League. That's a different point. The point I'm wrestling about is the point of deliberately saying you would rather. This point I would have agreed if we weren't a team that's now playing in the Champions League. What Champions League team, by the way, right now? Yeah. So the point you lot started with, we'd rather drop down a level just to win that and then start increasing. No.
Or do you win that and it gets you in that anyway?
All right, then leave.
And you've got trophies to boot.
Stricto, hold on. Listen.
You guys hold the club to a high standard, and you always speak about holding the club to a high standard. To say you want the team that was just one win away from being in a Champions League final to drop down to Europa League level just to guarantee a trophy is wild to me.
Guess what? You're the same person. You're the same person. You're the same person that would have been jumping for joy, sucking off Mikel Arteta pools. That's haram. Sorry, my boy.
No, but
you would have been jumping for joy if we had won that League Cup this season, and you would have gone, well, he's won 2 trophies now. Yes, you would have, Gal.
I said the League Cup is not what I'm
and at the start of the season, I said, and I quote, and everyone in this chat that watches me knows I said this. Start of the season, I said we're in a top 4 race. I watched us against Liverpool. Let me land. I said it in the pre-season when we watched Liverpool against Arsenal, and I watched Mo Salah, who looked like he had no pace left in him. Yeah, absolutely ghost in off a long ball. Yeah, Harvey Elliott round the corner. I said to Matty on the watch long, we're in the top 4 race this season. We're fucked. Yeah, I also said, give me a League Cup and I'll shut my mouth for another season. Yeah, give me a trophy. 1 trophy in 8 years. And we're supposed to be a big club. Go and win the little one to get you to the big one. Yeah, and if you can win the big one, great. But you can't walk before you can run.
Lee,
whatever the fuck.
Let me say something here, yeah? If you go to Newcastle and ask Isak, winning the FA Cup, what does that do to you? Do you realize that they're saying that Hurricane is Hurricane is so whatever say the best goal scorer they've seen at the Premier League, yeah? But Hurricane, Isak scored 1 goal that wiped out the entire goal that Hurricane scored. 1 goal against Liverpool in the FA in the Carabao Cup.
Go and ask Lookman. Go and ask Lookman about his hat trick, mate. Yeah, I'll go and ask him about his hat trick and ask if he's upset that he won that. Yeah, go and ask him about that.
Dan Pat, what I want you to do for me, yeah? I want you to send Stricto the celebration that Newcastle was celebrating for the Carabao Cup.
Yardman, they were trolling. They were trolling, saying they had a trophy parade for a League Cup. Like we win anything. 1 trophy in 8 years, mate.
It does. Let me tell you, Art. Then listen to this now, Stricto.
Look at this. This is.
What is that?
Look at this. I don't know if you can see this. There's Yardman.
Yeah.
There's Yardman.
What?
Who's got you jumping like this? What manager's got you jumping like this?
Well, he's happy that we're beating Chelsea, a rival.
This youth here, you see this youth have a little peace brain. If
that's you jumping there.
Yeah, what day was that? Was that a final? Was that a final?
Yeah.
Was that a final? Oh, it was a final. So he won a trophy. You're proving his point.
It's a final.
You're proving his point. You're proving his point.
No. My point being, of course you will celebrate it. If he can celebrate Arteta winning a trophy, of course I would celebrate if we fucking won a Europa. But that's not my point. My point is, I'd rather not be in the Europa. I'd rather not say, let's take away Champions League. Let's go in Europa. Of course I'll celebrate it. But same point I'm proving is, he's here celebrating it against the same team that the manager he prefers got us slapped in the Europa League. The same team.
And guess what? The same team, this manager, did it in 6 months. Yeah, but I get told it takes time. And he needs all of his players. He then got rid of all the players. The only player that's left in this team that started that final, Saka didn't get a game in. No, Kieran Tierney was the only player in the squad that started the semi in the final. Yeah, Saka never got a game. Saka never got a game. Yeah. He never got off the bench in the semi or the final. And then he got rid of all the players. By the way, just to let you know, Aubameyang's in the final tomorrow. He's in the final tomorrow. Oh, but that's the Saudi League. Oh, it's the Saudi League. Yeah, Saudi.
What final?
He's in a final in Saudi tomorrow.
Let me just ask some of the other boys in the chat.
Before you say it's Saudi. Saudi's in Asia. Where did we get Arsene Wenger from? Where did we get Arsene Wenger from? From Asia. Yeah.
Grampus.
Would you guys want to go back?
Yeah, which is in Asia.
Would you guys want to go back to Europa League if that guaranteed us winning it?
Yeah, because I want a trophy.
Let me say this. I'll answer that.
I'll shut up now.
You said to me, no. It's calm. It's been good conversation. It's been a good debate. And it's difference of opinion. Would I want to go back down to the Europa League? No, not really. I want to play Champions League football because I want to be in the best competitions. However, let me answer it. If you said to me we can compete in the Champions League this next season, and we'll get to the quarters or the semis, or we'll go into the Europa League and we'll win it, I'm going to take the trophy, Egal. Of course, I'm going to take the trophy. Are you saying you would not?
The fact he's thinking about it says it all.
That's astounding to me that the answer is not just
take it.
I would rather compete in the Champions League. I think we were so close to winning it this year. What's stopping us from getting the ultimate history?
Egal, let me say something to you, yeah? What you need to look at, there is a blueprint in the Premier League as manager. Manager in the Premier League set a blueprint. And the blueprint is whenever you come in the Premier League, your first trophy is the Carabao Cup. Win it. That set the precedent to let your team know that you can win trophy. Look when Pep come in the Premier League in the Carabao Cup. Hold on. Pep playing strongest team because that's the first trophy. He playing strongest team. Jose Mourinho is strongest team. Eric Ten Hag strongest team. Everybody who win trophy play the strongest team to win the title. Let me say this to you now. You're gonna have let me name it the top one, the top four, yeah. Team in that Premier League.
It's Charity Shield trophy. Quick one. Charity Shield trophy.
No, it's a glorified soccer. I'll tell you. One second. The Charity Shield, it was called the Charity Shield. They didn't give enough money to charity. Yeah, England have played in that. Corinthians have played in that. A 4th division team have played in that. Yeah, and FA 11 have played in that. Why? Because it's a friendly. It's played on friendly rules. Yeah, so when you want to class it as the English Super Cup, it's not a professional game. It's a friendly game. Yellow and red cards do not carry over to the domestic league or the domestic cups. Don't carry over. So when you want to dismiss the Spanish Super Copa de España, yeah, that's played on professional rules. So it's a professional tournament, a professional game, and a professional match. Yeah, the English game is a friendly, factually.
For me, the top 4 team in the Premier League this year are Liverpool, either Manchester United or Tottenham. Then you're gonna have either Man City or Crystal Palace, and then Newcastle. That is the top 4 Premier League side this year. Because guess what? Them team that attack, Carlo, one of 3 of them gonna win a trophy. Either Man City or Crystal Palace gonna win a trophy. So they're gonna have a better season than Arsenal. Man U and Tottenham gonna have a better season than Arsenal. Newcastle have a better season than Arsenal because they lift a trophy. Because the moral of you competing, everybody is competing to win a title.
Yeah,
and you're challenging for 4 of them. Yeah.
All right.
And if you don't win one, that means you fail. You will fail.
I want to ask you a genuine question because at the beginning of the season, unlike Lee, you believed you were going to win the league. You believed we were going to get it over Liverpool. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
So at what point did you basically say you're done with the manager and this is over?
You listen to me when I speak. I said I never liked the manager from the get-go.
I know, but you believed he could win us the league, and you're excited this season that we're going to beat Liverpool and we're going to win the league.
Well, it's not that hard then. This is how I see. I am for Arsenal, not Mikel Arteta. So whenever Arsenal go into a competition, I believe that it doesn't matter who's managing the team, I'm going to bring my team to win that competition. Okay, I would bring my team to win it because we're in it, we have a chance. I'm not going to get up and tell you that we can't win it until mathematically we cannot win it. So if Arsenal play today, I will beat whosoever will beat. I'm going to celebrate because it's an Arsenal win. You understand? I'm bringing the club. I support the club, not the manager, not the players. Because the manager go, the player go, the club stay. The club stay, okay? So I want to win trophy, no matter how small or big. Do you know how embarrassing it looked to see Chelsea gonna be the first team in history to win every single thing in Europe and in the Premier League, the first team in London? Are we gonna say London is red and we are the best team in London? We're not. We're not, because Chelsea is the best team in London. Because Chelsea winning trophy.
How can Chelsea be the best team in London?
Because they win trophy, idiot. They win trophy. They win trophy.
Hold on. You just hold on. You man just told me trophy is trophy, right? So if trophy is trophy, Arsenal got way more trophies than Chelsea. How that make them the biggest club?
They ain't got way more. And Man City could equal our trophy haul this season.
No. Until they do so.
Yeah, until they do so, right?
If trophy is trophy.
What Stricto? Where does it Stricto about Chelsea?
You just said just now, yeah?
Yeah.
If Chelsea win the Europa League,
yeah,
that means that they've won all the things in Europe, right?
Yeah.
So then that makes them the biggest club in London, right?
Yes.
So you made the argument earlier that trophy is trophy. So
yeah,
by your definition, Arsenal have won more trophies than Chelsea. Doesn't matter whether it's a champion, just by your definition, because every cup's a cup, right?
No.
Every cup's a cup. Hold on. Let me land. Yeah, every cup is a cup, right?
Yeah.
So by every cup being a cup, we on quantity, we have more than Chelsea, right? So therefore, Chelsea cannot overtake us and be the biggest club in London. By your logic.
Yeah. All right, let me explain it to you, yeah? When you're talking about what you think make Real Madrid one of the biggest club, where everybody want to go there, because they are king of Europe. That's why everybody want to go to Real Madrid. No.
Champions League.
Well, yes. When you're talking about Chelsea and Arsenal, Chelsea win 2 Champions League, 2 Europa League, a Conference League, 4 Premier League title, Super Club World Cup. During that time, during that 20 years when they win all of that, Arsenal only win 5 FA Cup. Make it make sense to me. Make it make sense.
Yeah, bro. But this is the point I'm making. So my exact point I was making in the beginning. No. My exact point I was making in the beginning. Trophies are different. I disagree.
But trophy make you big.
Trophies are different. So if you ask me, are Chelsea a bigger club than Arsenal? I will say no, but I will respect that Chelsea have won on quality alone, have won better trophies than us. On quality alone.
They are the best team in London.
On quality alone. Yes, I agree.
Not bigger.
On quality alone. But then you can't get to say on the other side and said, well, a trophy's a trophy. Because if a trophy's a trophy, we are the biggest club in London.
I agree with that. We're the biggest club in London based off of trophies, which is why Bilbao are bigger than Athletics. They got more trophies. Yeah, I agree with that. I don't put the Champions League above a League Cup. Yeah, and I know that sounds stupid.
Why not?
Why not? That sounds mad. Why not?
No,
go on. Explain that.
No, Lee. Hold on. The Champions League.
It's a knockout competition.
Yeah, but see with the League Cup.
One bad day. Yes, that's what I'm saying. So one bad day, you're out. It's not the best. You're not the best. You're not always the best team wins it.
Lee, how many Premier League?
Lee, that's mad.
How many Premier League titles does Chelsea have, Lee?
5, I think.
How many Premier League Arsenal have?
3.
Okay, then. I rest my case.
What?
Because football started what? Football started in 92.
Yeah, that's my point. Yeah, we have more trophies, Yardman. Yeah, we're not going from Premier League era. Yeah, we're going from entire history.
In your cabinet,
Are you saying Man City is bigger than Arsenal?
So you're gonna tell me, Lee? You're gonna tell me that
Man City is bigger than Arsenal?
They're one trophy away from equaling our total, by the way. One trophy away from
What
equaling
we're
us,
saying
by the way.
here, we are talking about trophy.
Chelsea's bigger than Liverpool, by the way.
Hold on, let me ask
Chelsea's
Lee.
bigger than Liverpool, by the way.
Man City have more trophies than Chelsea.
Chelsea's bigger than Liverpool, according to Yardman.
And Man City have more trophies than Chelsea.
Chelsea's bigger than Liverpool.
We are saying
Chelsea's bigger than Liverpool.
I never said bigger.
Chelsea have got more trophies than any club in the country. What are you talking about?
Man City have more
Liverpool got more.
Chelsea.
Liverpool got more trophies than any club in the country.
Not according to Yardman, they don't. They've got 2 league titles. They've got 2 Premier Leagues.
But they never listen to what I said. I never said bigger. I said to you, Chelsea is the best team in London. I never said bigger. I said best.
What makes them best?
Well, I know. Listen, Lee just gonna tell me. You're gonna tell me trophy is a trophy, but it's not because me and Ola. Listen to me now. Listen to me. I'm explain now. I'm gonna say to you that I got 4 Ferrari, and you got 2. You got 10. You got 10 Ford Focus. Can a 10 Ford Focus come to my compared to my Ferrari I got? No,
I can't.
Well, I'm taking the 10 Ford Focus.
Arsenal's the one with the Ferraris because we got 13 league
Cheaper
titles.
insurance.
Exactly. Parts as well.
Petrol fam.
Guys,
Yeah.
we have more
If we went,
If we back to Miguel's question when he said about
Egal, let DJ go. Go on, Egal, let DJ go. Come on, Egal. We've done. Us 4 down there have dominated. Come on, let them go.
Majors,
No, but then-
all the European and Premier League combined.
Let DJ go. Let DJ go. Again, we've all dominated. The bottom of us.
What was your question about Europa, or what would I rather win?
The question was to Matty, Kenny, and DJB. Would you guys agree with Yardman and Lee that you'd rather be in the Europa League next year and have a chance to win that than be in the Champions League again and potentially lose in the semi-finals and quarters?
Well, it is where I'm at because at the moment I'm just desperate for any trophy, Egal, and I don't care what it is at the moment. But whether you're in the Europa League or whether you're in the Champions League, under this manager, you ain't going to win any of them. So it's irrelevant. But I think in order for this club to win a trophy of any sort, we need to sort the manager out. Then we need to get the players in, and then we might have a chance of winning either the Europa or the Champions League. But obviously the Champions League, if we're in the Champions League, I'd rather win the Champions League also because we've never won it.
So DJ, sorry to cut you really quick, man, and I will let you come back in, but I just think you have just hit the nail on the absolute head, bro. Because for me, I don't think we should be arguing about Europa League or Champions League. They are funny enough. We've been in both over the last 5 years, and we've won neither under this manager. So go on, carry on, mate.
That was going to be my next point. My next point is what Dan's just said. Is under this manager.
Sorry, DJ Stricto. I know you've got to shoot, bro.
We've been in both. Under this manager, we've been in the Europa League and the Champions League, and we've won neither. So the question is irrelevant. We need another manager to get over the line in either competition.
All right, let me hear from Matty. Matty, what are you saying? Would you rather be in Europa League next year?
That's Marty, best manager I've seen in recent times, and who does deserve a trophy is Mr. Dan Potts for putting this absolute barnstormer together.
Yeah, I got my popcorn ready, bro.
Mate, that is.
It's actually got popcorn out. Right, it's got popcorn out. Look at him. Look, this guy. He ain't won nothing, but he's got popcorn out. He ain't won nothing.
Electric, honestly, Dan. How you put this together, I do not know, mate.
This is his best show.
Honestly, mate, Mikel Arteta needs to take some serious managerial techniques from you, my man.
Wow,
legend.
Nah, he's a genius that is not understood. That's why.
So would I take? Look, listen, I'd want to win anything, but I do understand the conversation about the trophies, and I do. Obviously, then you look at trophy haul, the amount of trophies, which does have a tally, which means everything. But then you also look at the quality of the trophy, because if I'm honest with you, one thing that I look at with keen love and I cherish is that Invincibles trophy that we've got, and no one's ever done it before, and will they? And that's one thing I definitely look at every season is whoever the winners of the season will be, will they ever surpass our Invincibles? Because that's just something that's never been done. Someone wins the Champions League every season, someone wins the FA Cup, someone wins the league, but no one goes in our season unbeaten. Well, it's been done in other leagues, but not the Premier League, because Premier League's one of the most competitive leagues, I believe, in Europe. It's tough, you know. It's brutal, and it's a top league. It's entertaining. You know, you've had it where Leicester won it in 2015, and you've had it. You know, I love watching the football.
Blackburn,
Personally.
what, 32 years ago?
What's that?
Blackburn 32 years
There you
ago, I
go.
believe.
Yeah,
There
they
you go.
got
There
they
you
got
go.
more
So-
they got more
so-
points than Super Duper
so-
Mick.
Do I like and enjoy playing in the Champions League? Look, I'm going to be honest with you. I want to win something more than anyone. I was thoroughly disappointed. I've had a shit day today, and I don't swearing ain't really my thing on camera, and that's the truth. I felt deflated. I felt down after last night's result. I really did want to go on and win something, and there's been too many years without winning either the Premier League or a European trophy, whether that be the Europa League or the Champions League. Do I believe Arsenal Football Club should be going for the Champions League? Yes, I do. I believe that level of competition is a lot better. And when you bring the Real Madrids to the Emirates, on one huge note, if I'm honest with you, and some people say, oh, you're there for the ride and you're part of the and all this stuff, and I get it, whatever, and people can have their opinions, but that will not take away from that amazing night that I had at the Emirates where we beat Real Madrid. That was an absolutely unbelievable evening, and I'll remember that for the rest of my life. Do you need to then back that up with winning trophies? Of course you do. Because some of my best memories as an Arsenal fan are watching the 1990-91 team that literally lost one game. And the only reason why they lost that game is to Chelsea 2-1, because Tony Adams was caught drink driving, went to prison because he put his car in someone's front garden. Now, that level of football was unbelievable, and it was solid. It was rigid. That team, they were just winners. And I just want to find Arsenal Football Club to go back to that sort of level of quality, even under the years of Wenger when we went invincible, when we won the double. You know, that football was electric. Finding these players just gelling and us just going out. And you just knew, when you watched Arsenal in those years, you just knew that the other team was going to get put to the sword and we were going to win something that season. I remember the excitement of the seasons, just knowing we're going to win something. We're definitely in with a chance, and chances are we would. You know, for that period from 88 all the way through to 2006, 5 or 2004. And even in the 2006, that Champions League final, I generally believe we would have won it. And, you know, if not for an unfortunate decision in getting our goalkeeper sent off and going down to 10 men, I do believe we would have won that, because we had the best defensive record throughout that tournament. And look, it's unfortunate at the moment, and Arsenal just need to find a way to get some sort of silverware on the board. You know, whether it's the League Cup first, whether it's the Premier League. For me, the Premier League. The Premier League is a trophy that has evaded us for a long time, and that is like I think Lee was saying. You know, that goes on how your form over a period of time, 38 games you play, that you've got to be consistently good and be better than everyone else to tally more points than everyone else, you know, and Champions League, stuff like that. Listen, the Champions League, something that's evaded us, and again, another trophy that, you know, we need to go all out and win. And that's my opinion on it.
Kenny, what you saying about it, bro?
Mute. Sorry, I'm mute. I was just on mute. Basically, the problem is there's something bigger than what competition you know to be in. There's something bigger, and it's actually embarrassing for a club of our size. A European haul is a disgrace, an absolute disgrace. We won one trophy in 1970, and we didn't win anything for another 24 years. And since 1994, it's 31 years without winning in Europe. That's bigger than whether you prefer to be in the Europa League or the Champions League. It's embarrassing. It's an absolute embarrassment. For a team that had great years under George Graham, initially excellent years under Arsene Wenger, that our Achilles heel has always been Europe. It's a disgrace. One of the reasons why the ugly, question was asked about Tottenham and Man United in the final, it wasn't because they're rivals and it was basically a different, whether you preferred Stalin or Pol Pot. It was something more important than that. Spurs have won 3 European trophies, so our 2. If they win Europa League, that's 4 trophies to add to. Let's not even talk about Man United. They won 3 Champions Leagues. They won a European Cup Winners' Cup. And if they win, that's 5 trophies. So at the end of the day, that's even more potent. And that's why we placed our hat on the Euro in the Champions League, because we needed that for ourselves. Because a lot of people are not going to be, who knows, we're all getting older. Some of us, people my age, may never get to see us win the Champions League. And that's why it's important. I personally believe the Premier League is the alpha and omega, because you're the best. There's no dispute. There's no if only, or we could have, or should have. Over 38 games, the table never lies. Even if it's by a point, or if you win a goal difference, the table don't lie. It's how you've proved your excellence during the league. But with the Champions League, I get the romanticism about it. I was in Paris. That was the worst day of my life. Yesterday, mirrored Paris losing that Champions League, because I fell in love with the idea of winning the Champions League, because I took off my sort of like snobby behaviour towards the Champions League, and so I won the league. I fell in love with the idea. I understand where Marty's come from. Real Madrid was a great night. Unfortunately, you don't win trophies by beating Real Madrid. You just get into the semi-final. And that is the main problem with Arsenal Football Club. George Graham and Bertie Mee still remain the only 2 managers to bring us European silverware. And if Arsenal want to be in that conversation about being a big, big heritage club, you need to get off your arse and win the Champions League. Whoever it is. If it's not Mikel, and I hope he gets replaced, and we need to get someone in. We need to prioritise, do better in Europe. And the only way you can win in Europe is if you get a striker. You can get away with it in the Premier League. We saw in the last cup in maybe 23 and 24 where players contributed goals. We had 4 players who scored double figures in 23. In 24, we had about three. But in the Champions League, we saw yesterday we needed a striker. Saka getting, like I said, behind the Paris defence, putting the cross in, and then what happens? No one to put in the ball in there. As I said, Kai Havertz still remains their top goal scorer. But trust me, I just want a European trophy, because I'm sick of the back teeth of us not doing well in Europe. And I'm even more embarrassed. Let's just factor this in. Celtic have won the Champions League. Yep. Nottingham Forest won 2 Champions Leagues. Aston Villa won the Champions League. All right?
Year I was born, Kenny. Year I was born.
Yeah. Steaua Bucharest have won the Champions League.
Big up my Romanian G as well.
Steaua Bucharest is in the Champions League.
Red Star Belgrade. Red Star Belgrade won.
Red Star Belgrade. We have Marseille. We haven't done anything in Europe.
Hamburg.
Exactly. Hamburg in 83. No big Juventus. We haven't done anything in Europe. So regardless of whether it's a competition pro or not, just be embarrassed on the 21st of May when one of these teams are going to go past us, and you better pray it ain't Tottenham, because they will milk it and milk it and milk it, because they are our rivals, and they'll remind us they're our rivals, and it will pee you guys off then winning another European trophy, because you'll look at your gongs and say, right, quiz question, how many European trophies has Arsenal won? Oh, no, we've only won 2. How many has Spurs won? Possibly 4. Oh, God, and we're meant to be a bigger club than them. We always say they're a small club and don't win trophies. But when it comes to Europe, they've got a better pedigree. That's embarrassing, guys. Very, very embarrassing.
Egal, let me ask you this. Next summer, or this summer, I should say, we do the business. Andrea Berta's looking very impressive. We get the forward, we get the left winger, we get the midfielder, and we've got backups in defence and goalkeeper. We get to the end of the season and the Mikel Arteta has not won anything. What happens?
There's no more hiding. He's gone.
And what is the reasons for you not saying that this season?
Because I don't think he's gotten the proper investment in the attacking end. And that's the only reason why I'm keeping him in the job, because I think give him the right attacking options, we win. We start winning major honors quite easily. I think tactically everything is there. I think he understands the situation currently with the players that we have to our disposal. We just need to shake up the front. We've invested in the defense. We've seen the fruits of his labors. We've invested in the midfield. We've seen the fruits of his labor. The place where we have not invested heavily enough to see the benefit is the attack. And if we go and get 2 quality attacking players and add another midfielder into this team, not only do I think we win, I think we surprise people how comfortably we get it over the line next time.
Okay, Yardman, do you agree with that? If he gets the tools, can he get us across the line? And if we get him the squad that Egal thinks that we need, the 4 or 5 players we need, do you think Arteta will do it? And if you don't believe why not?
I'm not going to say I don't think he will do it, but it's a possibility because it's a competition or we're in there or we're challenging for the competition. But when people just saying, well, what Eagle just saying that give him 2 stops, the striker and midfield, do you realize that a Man City not going to stay still? Chelsea not going to stay still? All of the club, they're not going to stay. So we just believe that get a striker, and we're going to win. And I don't believe it is that easy. I just believe is the... You look back at 2015, 16 when Leicester win the Premier League. It is not that they got the best team, it's the belief and it's the manager and how he coach them or let they play. Mikel Arteta don't allow his player them to play, give them the freedom to play. He don't do that. And this is why I don't believe that we gonna go over the line with Mikel. Not care what you give to him. I don't believe that he's going to take us over the line because he need these type of player. They are sheep. They just listen to what he said and do exactly what he said. And even when on the pitch, they see it's not working, they stick to what Mikel Arteta want them to do. Because none of them, because they're all kids, none of them is brave enough to tell him that it's not working and don't listen and do what they know going to win the game on the pitch. When people saying that, give him the striker, when you see how Mikel Arteta treat Edu and tell him that he want Aubameyang out, now that alone tell me that when people gonna say if they give him, you don't sit there, Eagle, and tell me that Mikel Arteta have no say in players that come into the club. You don't sit there and tell me that, and I keep on saying it, this is like a scratch record. When you let Eddie go, Emil Smith Rowe go, Reece Nelson, Vieira, I don't care if they're good, yes or no. I'm not talking about if they're good, if they're good enough to play in the Premier League. I'm not saying that. But there are 4 attacking players. Mikel Arteta decide to let them go. And what he do? He buy 2 defenders to replace them. No, who is going to hold him to that what him do? Nobody speak about, but hold on here. Last season, it wasn't that strong in attack because remember, people going to say, oh, last season scored over 90 plus goal, so that's why he didn't go and get a striker. But I remember, Pep Guardiola win the Premier League without a striker. Yeah, what 2-3 seasons ago, and then he went and go and get Erling Haaland. So that tell me something. You're not going to get up and do the same thing over and over and expect to get a different result. And that's what Mikel Arteta do. If John Duran was there for the taking in January, yeah, and it was Aston Villa who come to Arsenal and let them know that they could get what's his name? Ali Watkins, yeah. No, you are telling me that Mikel Arteta sell Abba and he went and go and get an injury-prone number 9 Jesus because that is his buy. Kyle Havertz, Jesus, Zinchenko, all of the players. You can name how many players that we not even name that him spend money on that did not work out at the club. So you don't tell me that when people are going to say if the club. So you're telling me that every player that come into the club, Mikel Arteta have no say in those players. That's what you tell me, Eagle, because I believe that one thing I'm positive sure, and that documentary show us that Mikel Arteta have a strong say in the club as a manager where a lot of manager in the Premier League don't have that say. And Mikel Arteta is one of them with Pep who have the say who them want in from who they don't. The documentary show you that. So when this guy get up and did not get up and go and sign a striker, when you see Saka get injured, yeah, you didn't go and replace Saka in January. Okay, in the January, we see that Kyle Havertz get injured. We see Jesus get injured, and you still did not react. And you're going to tell me that is the club never give him the money? The club give him $100+ million for buy one player. Why they would give him 50-60 million in the summer, in the January to go and buy a player? And remember, we sell Eddie, we sell Emil Smith-Rowe. So Emil Smith-Rowe and Eddie Nketiah is pure profit, 100% profit. Yeah. So don't tell me that them have problem with PFA or whosoever they want in them. They don't have no problem with them. Arsenal is one of the clubs who don't have a problem spending money. No, we asked the cranky, yeah, to back the club, and we can see that they back Mikel Arteta, meaning that they give him money to spend. We can see that. We don't need glasses to see that. Yeah, buy Kyle Havertz from Chelsea. Chelsea was surprised when Mikel Arteta wanted him for 65 million. They were surprised. They couldn't wait. They think they were dreaming. Are you going to tell me that you spend 65 million on a false 9 and you never go out there and get a proper out-and-out centre forward? At the time, you did have what's his name from from Brentford to
Ivan Toney. Oh, he won a trophy at the weekend, by the way. Yeah.
Ivan Toney. I read out there that he meet with Ivan Toney, but he didn't like his attitude or something like that. No.
Yardman, I know his best mate. They went to school to. I know everything about that story, everything about that, everything you've read in the reports. Load of bollocks. They never met. They never met. We never bid. We never did nothing.
What I'm saying, you need face the player in your team. You need. Last night I watching the game and PSG score. We down 2, and everybody head us down. Yeah, we don't see nobody get up and have that little urge about them and galvanize about the team and put in tackle and make PSG know that they did. We don't see that on the pitch because guess what? Mikel Arteta have kids and all of the kids them are listening to their teacher and none of them want to step out of line. None of them. And that is the biggest problem we have. We need a manager that's going to come in and going to rattle these players. Yeah, we need players to come in who's going to put a foot in, who's going to challenge a manager. That's what we need at the club. If we don't have that, we're not going to win nothing.
The captain reflects the manager. That's why there's no leader on the pitch. There's no Tony Adams. There's not a Vieira. There's not a leader on the pitch. It's a yes man
on the pitch.
I mean, he did change the tactics yesterday. He had Thomas Partey acting like Rory Delap, and he had David Raya suddenly not passing out from which we've seen all season. That's cost us goals, by the way, on certain occasions. Passing through the midfield. No, get all upfield. Waving them all upfield. We was Wimbledon settings yesterday, second half.
Egal, we're gonna lose Saka. Yeah, because they don't have to sign this year again. They can sit there and say, you know what, we're gonna see what's gonna happen, who they're gonna bring in the summer. William Saliba, Gabriel, yeah, it's just a pity they can have 3 years left. But what we're saying here, if they don't sign and they sit down and watch, next season they're on a 1 year left and they can walk for free. So we have to remember, the more we leave Arteta in this club, is the more we're going to have to rebuild again. Now is the time for we to go out there and get a proper manager, because we have about 5 players who I believe could get into any team in Europe.
Yeah.
Any team, 5 players. Saka, the 2 centre half, Gabriel Williams, Declan Rice, and I would even throw Timber in it.
It's a rebuild.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not. It's a reboot. It's a reboot. It's a retool.
Yardman.
Yeah.
It's a refurbish.
My thing is, you clearly rate the team. You don't rate the manager. I get where you're coming from now. I finally understand where you're coming from. You believe this team should be winning, and the manager's stopping us from winning, right?
Yes.
But in the same breath, you also say we're short attacking options. We're short a striker. We're short a left winger. You agree there, right?
Left winger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm saying I believe Mikel Arteta's tactics are the reason why the players that we rate, like the Bukayo Sakas, like the Timbers, like the
Why are we
Salibas,
doing this
like the
again?
Declan Rice.
Egal. Let me say something here. Sorry. Those players, whether you just the Saka, the William Saliba, Gabriel actually learn him trade and start to get better. The Declan Rice, these players are natural born footballer. There's nothing Mikel Arteta can do to stop them. Nothing. So when you're gonna say Mikel Arteta will get all right then, like what Lee Gunner was saying, yeah. Do you ever see any Premier League club of 3 hamstring injury in one season?
Grade 3.
No, but
Grade 3.
This was an accumulation of the pressure that it had on us as a squad being thin.
No. Let me tell you the reason why. No. Egal. Listen why they get that injury, yeah? Because they have to be running 90 yards up the pitch, 90 yards back.
Look at Declan Rice's tackle. He run 89 yards to save that second goal.
There's nothing wrong with tracking back. The issue is the lack of squad depth. That is the issue.
So whose fault is that? The lack of squad depth. Whose fault is that?
That's Edu's, and he's gone.
No. It's not Edu. It's not Edu. Because we see Mikel Arteta take Edu for a gig as a making tea. So it's Mikel's fault. It's Mikel's fault.
Let me go back to what you said about Aubameyang. Bro, you do know Aubameyang and Arteta got into a physical altercation reportedly.
Yeah, Aubameyang should knock him out. Aubameyang should knock him out.
Yeah, you heard about this, right? Okay.
Yeah, should knock him out.
So after that, after Aubameyang tried to knock him out, do you expect him to keep him at the club?
Yeah, because of listen why, and let me answer that question. Because of Aubameyang, Mikel Arteta win a FA Cup. It was Aubameyang who scored them goal for him, semi-final and final.
When he disrespects you and he starts swinging at you.
Okay, let me twist that back on you. Yap Stam, yeah, Kenny, you'll know this. It's in Fergie's book, I think. Yeah, Yap Stam strangled Alec Ferguson,
and he was
still played the next game. He still played.
Yeah, but he was gone at the end of the season. Am I wrong?
He went the next season.
No,
I don't know my history like that when it comes to Yap Stam and his fighting with Alex Ferguson. And, what I will tell you is, the moment Aubameyang got into an argument with Arteta, I don't think he kicked the ball ever again.
But guess what? When he inherited Aubameyang and he inherited this squad, yeah, Aubameyang was a Golden Boot winner along with Mohamed Salah and Sadio Mane. He then turned him into a touchline winger playing left wing back, mate.
Yes, that's what he did. Helping out Saka, remember?
A 30-odd-year-old man, yeah, that ain't got the legs. Keep that boy in the box. He'll bag you goals, and he's still doing it now.
Okay.
Yeah, he went to Marseille and scored about 30 goals. He went to Barcelona and scored 17 goals. Yeah, he's still doing it now.
Anybody who punches up the manager is gonna get kicked out of the club. Why are we surprised?
No, I understand that, but you're missing the whole point there, right? You're talking, and I heard what you were saying when I went bathroom. I had it on my phone, right? You're saying, oh, but if we if we get the left winger, we get the striker and this and that. Cool. Yeah, great, fantastic. That don't stop him not dropping Saka. We watched a manager yesterday, yeah, Luis Enrique, start Kvaratskhelia on the left up against Timber. Now, as soon as we brought on Calafiori, where did Kvaratskhelia play? Oh, he played on the right wing up against Calafiori. Why? Why did he put Barcola? Why did he put Barcola, up against Skelly? Because Barcola's quick. Yeah, he's not great. I don't rate him, but he's quick. He can cause trouble with his pace. And I said this would happen. DJ, you was there. Kenny was there on the podcast. Yeah, we said they walked through our midfield last week. They'll go down the wings this week because now Party's back. It'll be a little bit harder for them to get through the midfield. So they'll go down the wings. Nobody expected Barcola to play on the right. He normally plays on the left. Right? As soon as Calafiori comes on, my man Kvaratskhelia has now gone out to Calafiori. Why? Because that's the weak fucking link. Yeah, the weak link was Skelly. And you see, and Egal, I said this to you, and Marty, you might have seen this as well when you were watching the game, and Yardman and everyone else. Look, when we played Real Madrid's second leg, you know, they go down and they shake their hands before kickoff. Martin Odegaard looked like he's seen a ghost that night. Yeah, and I said it on my watch along. I said, he's shitting a brick, mate. He's fucking rattled. Look at him. He's scared shitless. Second leg. Right? Odegaard. Last night, Lewis-Skelly looked like he had seen a ghost. Yeah, I said, he's going to drop a stinker, mate. Look at his face. Straight behind him was Declan Rice. They panned into Rice afterwards. He's like, chest out like Tony Adams, like, come on. Watching it, yeah, come on, let's have it. Yeah, and he actually played all right. Yeah, Skelly dropped a stinker. Skelly gave him an out yesterday. Yeah, by taking the ball in the ribs, rolling around. I thought it hit him in the face. It didn't hit him in the ribs. He was basically saying, get me the fuck out of here. I'm sinking, mate. What did the manager do? Nope, you're back out in the second half. Yeah, then as soon as he gives the penalty away, subbed. This is the difference between an elite level manager, yeah, and a good manager. Because he is a good manager. Yeah, he's not shit. He's good. But he's good to a certain level. Yeah, he ain't going to get us over the line, whether he gets a striker, 10 strikers. We could have signed Morata. You would have laughed your bollocks off. Yeah, I wanted Morata. I wanted Dovbik. Well, we could have done with Morata off the bench yesterday or starting up front, couldn't we?
Lee,
yeah, Morata, before you start smirking and laughing, Egal, Morata's won a trophy this season again, and he's top of the league at his second club this season. Oh,
Lee,
Lucas Torreira is as well, mate. Bellerin's in another final. Aubameyang's in a final. Mason, now they'll leave this club.
No, but Lee, I know you will. I know you will. If we would have brought in Morata, you would have found a way to criticize him.
Nope. Chat, am I lying? If I'm lying, I'm dying. I rate Morata. I wanted Dovbik and Morata. We could have got both of them. We could have got both of them for 35 million quid.
Now, to be fair,
one of them Roma. You know what you would have said? You know what you would have said? You told us we were going to be in the Champions League. We get world-class players, and we got Dovbik. That's what you would have said.
Now, let me say this quickly.
Do you realize how much I rate Dovbik? I've said before many times. I've said many times he is Erling Haaland with technical ability, mate.
Right. Let me just quickly say this.
He's better than Haaland.
I don't rate Morata. Right. I never have. I don't rate him. Right. I immediately disagreed on that. However, you cannot deny that he's what he's won in the game. Right. So if
20 trophies, soon to be 21.
Yeah, if you'd have said to me now, do you want Morata coming on, or do you want to deal with the fact we got no striker? I'll be taking Morata. Let me ask this quick question.
10 million quid, Dad. 10 million quid.
Yeah, it's a steal. It's an absolute steal.
100 grand a week.
To wrap up, right? Let me ask this to wrap up because this is going to go on forever otherwise. And I know the chat probably wanted to, but we have all got to go to sleep at some point. Let me, unless you're Lee Gunner who goes through to a 14-hour shift. Let me.
YouTube only allows you 12 hours, so they cut the last 2 hours of my stream off. Like, obviously,
do you know why no one knows that, Lee? There's a reason, bro. There's a reason no one knows that, mate, because no one does 12-hour streams.
They ain't got work rate like me, Dan. I profited off a loss yesterday, innit? But so did our club.
Mate, hardest worker in YouTube, man. I've said it for ages. Let me just quickly ask this as a question. Egal, it is kind of towards yourself, but anyone can come on this, right? Why are people scared about life without Mikel Arteta? That is a genuine question that I do not get at all. Go on then, Kenny.
It's easy. It's an easy answer. Arsenal Football Club in general have always given managers time. You know, Billy Wright got time in the 60s when he was awful. Don Howe got time and he actually quit because we were going after Terry Venables. John Graham got 9 years. Arsene Wenger got 22 years. Mikel Arteta gives time. Arsenal always giving their managers time. We're not a sacking club. We love processes at Arsenal. We've always gone with young players. We like local players.
To be fair, Liverpool's not a sacking club either.
Yeah, but we're talking about Arsenal. Arsenal have always been the only two managers who've never been given time at Arsenal are basically Bruce Rock and Unai Emery. They never fitted the Arsenal way of doing things according to the board, and that's why they'll never get time. That's why we're scared about life about Mikel Arteta, because Arsenal always pride themselves over the years of being different to every club. We behave differently at Arsenal. We're the Arsenal. We do things in a very like I said, classy way. That's how we look. But the problem with Arsenal is that football's moved on. We're always the team that is behind other clubs when it comes to player salaries. We never want to pay players big money until a few years later we realise we've got to pay players big money because other clubs are doing it. We need to get big players. We never spend big on transfers over the years. But when we realise other clubs are doing it, then we realise, that's the only way we can compete is by getting transfers in. And that's how Arsenal Football Club are. Unfortunately, what we're going to find out is that if we do keep this manager and we don't have success, what will happen, which is what happened at the Emirates era, is unfortunately Man City will be strong next season. Liverpool will identify the areas where there are genuine weaknesses, and even though they've won the league, they're going to be strong, because if Liverpool drop their standards, Liverpool fans will be after Slot. He'll have credit in the bank, but not that much credit if they finish 10 or 15 points behind the leaders, and they're not in. They don't get into the Champions League. Their fans will turn, because that's Liverpool standards. And then if you look at Europe, Real Madrid have to improve, because they're not going to be that bad. And then Man City are going to be strong in Europe. So one of the things that Arsenal need to do, they need to bite the bullet and imitate other clubs and own their status as a club with the highest of standards. And if that means getting a new manager, they're going to have to move it to times. Sometimes you have to look at it and you think, you know what? As much as we have this Arsenal heritage and we like to do things the right way, Chelsea and Man City have spent shed loads of money, and Man City went 35 years without winning anything, is now a team that's won a Champions League before Arsenal. And this is an Arsenal that competed in the Champions League for 20 years, but didn't win anything. That's embarrassing. But that's another thing that Arsenal need to do. Move with the times. If it means the Kroenkes getting someone from the Middle East with big, pockets, and they want to sort of, go by this sort of barometer that, you know what, he ain't good enough, he ain't give me success enough 2 years, I'm going to get someone in, then be that club. Arsenal have to win. It's all well and good to have this sort of classy Arsenal and you don't like it. Well, I'm sorry, football's, you got to leave, you need people behind you in football. You don't move with the times, and you don't, like I said, raise your standards and own your status as a big club. We're going to be having this discussion again and again. Let's not forget, we witnessed 9 years without a trophy under Arsene Wenger. We're now 6 years into another period of not winning trophies. So we've got 3 more years to equal Arsene Wenger. We can't go on like this at Arsenal Football Club. We do this again and again and again. We went 17 years without winning anything, between 53 and 70. When are we going to learn that you can't keep on calling yourself a big club and start saying, oh, yeah, we're Arsenal, but you don't win anything? You have to move the times. And unfortunately, Mick Arteta will not, in my opinion, should never be allowed to get any more money. I don't care whether, if he gets any more, he gets a striker, he gets this and improves, we're going to win. I'm sorry, I'm not having that. The trouble with that question you posed earlier, Dan, is that you're going through another sliding doors analogy. Aren't you sick of this sliding doors moment? Aren't you sick of would have, could have, with maybe, if? Come on. The game's up. He doesn't win trophies. He's not a successful manager. He's built foundations, but foundations, you can't go to Islington Town Hall and have a parade for foundations. You can't go to Islington Town Hall and have a parade for beating Real Madrid. You can't have go to Town Hall and have a parade, a picture of Lewis-Skelly sitting down and taking a mickey out of Erling Haaland. That's not success. You have parades for trophies. You have parades for, for success. And Arteta doesn't bring me success. So no more conditions, no more sliding door moment. Off you go, mate.
Let's be real with it, Kenny. I know Dan wants to wrap here, but let me just say this very quickly, Dan. Yeah, right. Let's be real with it. These fans that back this manager en masse, like he's their dad, or their family member. Yeah, it's like you stabbed their family member if you dare to call that super duper tippity top Mick. Yeah. Right, let's not forget, when they say, who do you want? Who would you get? Let's not forget this guy never fucking managed a club before. So how about somebody that has? How about go and get the number 2 at City? Right, not only that, they also hold other clubs to a higher standard than our club. Yeah, because if Liverpool had not won the league, last year, Egal, you're culprit in this. Liverpool bottled it last year. What did they leave with? The League Cup. Yeah, that shit cup. We don't want that kind of that energy drink cup. Yeah. Oh, yeah, but Man United, they're 15th. Tottenham, they're 16th. Oh, yeah, we don't want the Europa League. They have different standards for other clubs, and we still don't win nothing. How about win something and get mouthy? Because we can't chat to Chelsea. We can't chat to Man City. Yeah, we can't even chat to Man United. They've been in 4 finals in the last 3 years.
It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, and they're crap. Let's be real. They're crap league-wise. But this is why I do not take league finish, because the table does lie. Yeah, if people say the table don't lie, the table does lie. Them 2 teams should not be where they are in the league. Yeah, let's be real. And if they've done their job, which they haven't, they've had a shit season league-wise. If they've done their job, if Man City have done their job, and Chelsea haven't fallen off a cliff with the PE teacher they've got, and lowering their standards by talking about phases and all this crap, right? Let's be real. We wouldn't have seen Nottingham Forest up there or Newcastle up there. Newcastle are a very good club, and I love Newcastle. However, it should be the originals up there, the big 6. Yeah, but they didn't do their job. So the table does lie, because Tottenham are not the 16th best team in the league. Let's stop playing it. They're not. They're better than that. And I know them talking about injuries, by the way. And they've had a couple of injuries less than us this season. They're in the final. Yeah.
Can I ask a quick question as well to close? Because I do want to close, and I know people.
Yeah, plus it's got no duration, mate. It's got
I'm terrible work rate at this league, I like to call it.
You're like our captain, mate.
Yeah. Nah, he's much better looking than me, mate. Egal, why are you scared of that? Like, that's a real question. And maybe you're not, but I do genuinely believe you're saying you believe what you say with Mikel. I know you're a big fan of him. I get that, right? When none of us on here are saying that you're a prat or whatever, thinking that we just disagree with you. But if he was to go, let's just say he decides he's walking. Let's fast forward a season. We've got Berta in. We've got some good players in. We've kept
wherever Arteta goes, not only does he win, he dominates.
Like, he'll be at El Dense in Segunda Division, mate.
If you take him, if you put him in the Bundesliga with Bayern, if you put him in La Liga and you give him Real Madrid, if you put him at PSG and he took over,
explain why then. Just quickly explain why you think that.
Because tactically, the man is. I watch Arsenal play, and I see the players constantly letting the manager down to a level where it's almost like. I don't even know what to say anymore.
Oh, he coached to win again. This bullshit.
You said on your stream earlier.
When I watch
we're tactically the best in the world.
When I watch Arsenal week in, week out, I see Mikel.
Did you say that?
Yeah.
Sorry?
We're tactically the best in the world.
We're one of the best teams tactically, yeah.
Because we don't have.
Yeah, because
you told me that we're the best team tactically in Europe. That's what you said again.
We don't have the
we're in the second leg of a Champions League semi, and we're fucking doing Rory Delap throw-ins and long ball.
Yeah, because we don't fucking have.
We're playing red and white like Stoke, mate, and we are fucking Stoke. We're the Spanish Stoke.
Let him come in though.
This is bullshit, man. Fucking, you don't believe what you're saying, man. Come on, stop lying, Egal.
No, I genuinely do, because when I look at it, I say to myself, we've gotten to a semi-final of the Champions League with Mikel Moreno up top. No quality left winger at all. A half-fit Bukayo Saka. A midfield of Odegaard, which all of you guys have said he's fallen off a cliff, and to me he looks like he's injured. I think we're an elite.
No, that's an excuse.
I think we're an elite attack away from winning major honors, and I think comfortably.
We're an elite manager.
Yeah. No, forget about manager.
Click that.
I said elite attacker. Elite attacker. Because
Egal, you sound like that geezer, right? We all have mates here. We all have mates here. You sound like that geezer that stays with his bird, but he knows his bird's cheating on him. But because she gives him a nice top head every now and again, he'll go, "Oh, I'll keep her because nobody can do better than her." Fuck off.
Hey, that's not in my culture. We don't do that.
No, anyway, I know that's haram for you. I'm saying I actually said we all have mates like that. Yeah.
Getting back to my main point, though, Lee.
It's true, though. We're basically you're simping for this manager for no reason.
I don't think anybody is better than us tactically with Mikel Arteta currently. What he lacks is the players to execute the game plan.
Okay, fantastic.
When you look over to PSG, Dembele, Fabian Ruiz, and Hakimi.
Okay, now let's have a look at Bournemouth then.
I'll just come in on that though, Egal. What you've just said about tactically, but if he's tactically one of the best managers in the world, and he's this good manager,
yeah.
If you look over the years of managers gone past, some of the managers tactically that have been the best managers haven't necessarily had the best players. If you look at when Leicester won the league, they didn't have the best players. But hear me out. If you're saying that's true, then Arteta really, if he's that good, should use his coaching nous and his tactics and everything you talk about and get this team to win something. So if he's that good, why isn't he not doing it then? Because you're saying in order for him to do that, he needs the best players in the world. Well, the top coaches don't necessarily need the best players in the world to get over the line.
No,
they can do it with a bang average team.
Bro,
West Ham United won the conference. David Moyes won a European trophy with West Ham with the squad they had.
Winning the conference is not the
Right?
same as trying to win the
It's
Premier
all
League.
it's all relative. The level that you're on.
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, by your logic, you're saying that Arteta is the best, one of the best coaches tactically in the world.
Yeah.
He's got this, he's got that, he's got this, he's got that. So on that basis,
what is he missing?
on that basis, the group of players that he's got, £100 million Rice, £65 million plus Havertz, 30-40 million pound Marino, and blow everyone else.
Best defence in the league.
On that basis,
strikers.
He should be winning the league. Or
surprise, guys! Winning the Premier League and winning the Champions League is hard.
Okay, so on that, so let me ask you this then, because DJ's just hit the nail on the head. Okay, so cool. At the start of the season, Egal, let me ask
I've just stumped you, haven't I?
Yeah, exactly. No, Egal, let me just follow on from that and I'll shut up. Let me follow on and I'll shut up. Right?
Let me just
would you have taken let me say, and then except follow us on from DJ and I'll shut up. Would you have taken Lukaku and Philip Billing this season at the start of the season? Would you have taken them up front at Arsenal? Lukaku and Philip Billing?
No, but I would have fucking...
No, okay, it's cool. Conte's got them top of the league, mate.
I would have took Scott McTominay.
I didn't ask about that. You're talking about forwards. Scott McTominay is not a forward.
I've just stumped you on your own analysis. If you are good at your job, in a coaching, and you are one of the top tacticians in the world, according to you, you should get the best out of any team. Whether they cost 200 million, whether they cost 50 million, whether they cost 40 million. If you are putting him on that much of a pedestal, then there is no excuses why he can't get the best out of these players.
Let him on.
Inter Milan under their manager has spent 230 million since he's been there.
Rest my case.
Luis Enrique, who beat us over the two legs, couldn't get the best out of the squad until they went and invested in January to go get Kvaratskhelia, and it transformed their team. It offered them more of an attacking threat. It gave them more balance in their attack, and it allowed Ousmane Dembele to have more freedom in the final third to be doing.
So if we had Kvaratskhelia, this man would win the Champions League, yeah?
Brother, let me finish before everybody cuts me off every 2 seconds. You never get where I'm coming from. Now, when we talk about the team that we just played, PSG, and we talk about them comparing to us, or we compare Liverpool, we compare all these other teams, there's different factors in all of these things. But just going back to the main thing, the reason why we lost versus PSG, I look at the two teams over the two legs, and the difference was the attacking quality. That is it. In the midfield, right. in the midfield, in the first game, they beat us. In the midfield, in the second game, we beat them. Defensively, both teams both teams had good moments, and both teams had bad moments. It's surprise, ladies and gentlemen. It's not easy to.
Their defensive midfield scored in the second leg.
Let me just come back on you on that one. So on that analysis, then you are saying that because Enrique had Kvaratskhelia and all of these men, that's the reason why they knocked us out. So if we had these players, if Mikel Arteta had those players, you're saying
he would have won the Champions League with an attacking quality.
He would have won the Champions League with attacking quality.
We got to a Champions League semi-final.
So last season, then, with the players he had, no injuries and everything else, and the attacking quality, because he signed Havertz, no one else. Why did he not win the Premier League? Why did he not win the Premier League?
What attacking quality, DJB? What are you talking about?
Gentlemen, I gotta go now, but
Yardman's had enough, bro. He's had enough. He's tapped out.
Before I go, Egal, I have to agree with you. Mikel Arteta, what you said, you're right. And the reason why you're right, Mikel Arteta is the only manager to play 5 left back in one game. You're right.
Tactical genius, Yardman.
Yardman.
And then
You give
again,
Arteta
Egal,
credit
hold
for
on.
getting
One
Mikel
more,
Merino.
Egal, one more. Then again, why you're right again is the only manager who chasing a game need goal and bring on defender. You're damn
That's
right.
not true. That's not
You're
true.
damn right.
In
So,
Tuggy,
but that one, Eagle,
And if
I
you
say
sit
you're
in
right.
midfield
Mr.
throwing all
Arteta,
the throws.
tactical genius. He's a
no,
nobody can beat him.
Yardman. Remember Allegri? He was chasing a game with Dortmund,
Allegri.
with Juventus, and he went.
You're
to
talking
three at
about a
the back.
serial winner,
He
you know.
went to a 3 at the back. He brought on 2 defenders and won them the game in the Champions League. and
Why?
turned around.
Because
You
he's
know,
a,
you
because
hear
he's
what
a
I said? Hold
tactical
on.
genius.
Hold on. You hear what you said? You hear what you said? He went 3 at the back. Did Mikel Arteta do that last night?
The only trophy he's won, Yardman, was when he played 3 at the back.
I'm giving you an example.
Gentlemen,
I'm giving you an example.
Gentlemen, I rest my case. Have a pleasant
Love you,
week.
Yardman.
I
I
don't
love
think
you,
you
man.
rested anything. Anyways, have a good night.
I love you,
The only
Yardman.
trophy this
Take care, my
manager's
bro.
won is the FA
It's the
Cup.
FA
He played
Cup in
3
his
at the
first
back.
season.
And he played 3 at the back.
So you want Arteta? You know what? I feel like you
Inter
guys,
Milan
no
are in
matter
the
what
final with
happens-
3 at the back.
No. You know what? I gotta seriously say this. I feel like it doesn't matter. We could be here for 4 hours. DJB will find a way to spin everything into Arteta's the problem.
DJB's been watching football before we were all born.
You're gonna find a way to spin it into Arteta. You know what? DJB probably forgot more football than I've watched in my entire life. Fair play.
Facts,
I get
same
it,
as me.
right?
Same as
Same
Marty.
as me.
Kenny was 2 when he was going.
I'm sorry, I don't know as much as you guys when it comes to football.
Because I've seen coaches with less players than Arsenal win cups.
1 second. It doesn't matter that you guys have more knowledge of the game than me. It doesn't change my opinion of what I think about this team and where we're headed.
Yeah, but you're doing it off of hope.
I think Mikel Arteta and
You're not doing it off of facts.
I think Arsenal under Mikel Arteta are still headed in the right direction. And the only reason why I would change that or say that it would go is not due to where we're going to finish this season or any trophy list, the fact that we're trophyless. The only thing that's going to change my mind about Arsenal in the foreseeable future is what we do this summer and how we address.
Oh, here we go. Now it's on Berta. This is the swerve I've seen.
No, I'm not putting it on. I'm not putting it on.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
I'm not putting it on Andre Berta. I'm simply.
So if
saying,
he doesn't go and sign a striker this summer, then answer the question.
This is on the Arsenal board. This is on the people.
Thank you. What I just said. Thank you.
This is on them because they did not allow Arsenal to go out there.
They didn't allow the manager who said factually in a press conference.
Spend the money.
Hold on. The manager again. We've done this on stream, so stop lying.
Why is it whenever I'm about to make a point, the debunks your statement?
Because your point is fake. It's lying. The manager has openly admitted. The manager has openly admitted. The manager has openly admitted. We've done this on streams. He gets the final say on transfers.
And I swear to you, we've been here for 2.5 hours, and I swear to you, for at least an hour and 30 minutes, I was quiet.
Yeah, guess what? Guess what? When you're talking waffle, I'm going to cut you off. I told you this previously. I told you it's backstage. I've told you it's on stage in text.
At least understand my point before you.
Your point is based on lies.
My point is, Arsenal right now, as currently constructed, need to go out there and address the striker position. We need to go address the left wing position. We need to go and get another midfielder. Just that alone first before we talk about anything.
This last season, Egal.
Those three coming in, plus the peripheral players like the backup.
Peripheral players? What a buzzword that is.
Goalkeeper. That is not what I'm looking at right now. I'm
looking at this last season.
For God's sakes, DJB, I don't know what you're saying, but let me finish, please. All right. My main issue is when we talk about next season, you guys always say, well, the manager's going to come short again. The manager's going to come short again. What if we get injuries again? Well, if we go and sign a striker that can score goals, it would not put so much pressure on the team when we're down and we need a goal. We will have somebody who can finish off those chances. When we have a new left winger who comes in that can finish, not only finish their chances, but can also create and pass and looks up when through on goal instead of taking a shot like Martinelli, then we're going to have another opportunity. When a manager coaches a game where we have 5xG over 2 legs and we score 1 goal, I'm not looking at the manager and saying you've done a terrible job. He had us set up perfectly in the second game to win that game. First game, we fucked up, and that was on everybody. I put it on Arteta also, but in the second game,
we had 5xG, guys.
All the coaching, all the planning, work to perfection. The execution in the final third was poor. We go back. Why did we drop?
But why? We got Star Boy. You wouldn't drop him for any other winger in the world.
No. Why did we drop.
Starboy missed an absolute
Let me-
sitter. You would
okay, let
not
me
drop
tell
him.
everybody a
Would you?
secret. Let me tell everybody a
we-
secret. Let me
Tell
tell
us a
everybody
secret, Egal. Go on, mate. Go
The
on, tell us.
secret-
Go on.
the secret
Whisper
is-
it. Whisper it. Go on. Go on. It's a secret.
Fucking hell, you're making me.
No, you
Listen,
chat absolute nonsense.
the reason why we dropped so many points this season, when you really look back at it, it's not down to the manager's simple mistakes or anything
No.
like that. It's really because we are not clinical in the final third. And if
Right.
we improve our attack, we sign a striker, we sign a left winger, it solves so many of our problems to a level where I think you guys don't even realize it sometimes. And you scream and shout about a striker every single week. But now
No,
when I tell you,
we don't. We don't.
now when
we
I
don't.
tell you, surprise, surprise, we didn't win the league with Kai Havertz, Mikel Moreno, and Jesus, who gets
Okay,
injured
cool.
every 2 weeks.
Cool. Can I come back on that?
You guys
Let me
are
know
all
when I
shocked.
can come back on that real quick.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
because
done, bro.
I can come back on that. Yeah, I told you. Yeah, with Matty, and if Matty's still listening, bless up Matty. Me and Matty did a watch along for the Liverpool pre-season friendly. Yeah, in Kroenke Stadium. Yeah, Kroenke Stadium, because that was another fucking money spin. Yeah, and I sat there with Matty, and we both sat there and said we're in a top 4 race. Yeah, we've also sat on many streams on this channel, my channel, your channel, and other shows, so on and so forth, saying, guess what, mate? Yeah, we're going to get mad injuries this season. Yeah, because Saka ain't going to stay fit. Yeah, but then he came back and scored against Everton and Real Madrid. I said, yeah, he's running on adrenaline, mate. Yeah, cool, he scored yesterday. Yeah, but guess what? Yeah, he's been awful. He ain't been the Saka that we see before the injury. Why? Because he's not fucking fit. And I said to you, yeah, he's going to have mad injuries next season. What did I also say on your show hours before kickoff? Yeah, I said, I'm worried about Timber playing that game because is he fit? And I said, I guarantee he goes off injured in that game. What happened? He went off injured. What happened? He went off injured. Why did he go off injured, Egal? Because he was fucking injured in the first place, in the first leg. The guy with a mic in his hand or in his head, yeah, pushed him back on for another 12 minutes. Then we brought Ben White on in the first leg. He shouldn't have been on the pitch. Take him off straight away, mate. Yeah. How many times have I said to you, yeah, oh, one of our centre-backs is fucked. Me and Matty have predicted all season 95% of what was going to happen, and that was in July. How can we predict that, Egal? Why? Because we've seen the same story, the same movie over and over and over again. Yeah, I've said the next one will be Timber, yeah, or one of our centre backs. Well, what happened? Here we are. I've said Saka would be out. I've said Odegaard will get a mad injury. Yeah, I've said 29 will be out. Yeah, I've said Martinelli he'll drop off. Yeah, I've said that we're not going to play great this season. We're in a top 4 race, and here we are. Standing ovation at Anfield, mate. We lose that, then lose to Newcastle, which we always do. Oh, we could be 4th. Yeah, we are miles behind, and I don't think you realise. Yeah, and that's up to you to do what you want, and say what you want, and believe what you want. That's cool. Yeah, I live in the real world, not hope world. Yeah, I've watched football for a long time, as you all have. Yeah, at the same time, I've seen it before, mate. Yeah, I've seen it before. And I'll tell you now, this manager will win fuck all again next season.
Guess what, Lee? I did a poll at 10 when we started.
Why did my camera
There's
zoom in?
been way over 3,000 votes, and 73% say they don't believe Arteta should remain as manager and get one more year. That is mad. 73% said no, get him out. Yeah, there's a lot of people that changed last
night. Who could do better, Dan? Who could do better?
Yeah, who are you going to get? There's a lot of people that said that. But look, we are going to finish. There's another super chat that's literally just rolled in from NetTweet. Egal, you said 6 months ago we don't need a striker.
Thing? The 27%, I rate you guys. You guys are right.
You are funny, man. I do love you, Egal. Listen, big up to Kenny Ken, big up to Marty. Make sure you follow in both Kenny Ken and Marty Ovens on socials. Make sure you follow
Dan, can I say one more thing before you start? I'm going to keep it really, really, really short. I promise you.
He rage quit as well.
This season, don't expect any more victories. I saw the players afterwards. I saw the way their heads were down. I saw the tears on the field.
Good point.
They ain't got nothing.
Hey, Kenny, Ligon is going to love that.
Season.
Ligon is going to love that. He wants us to finish 6th so we can get you.
No. It's not to do with that. It's just that I've seen it before with some of our players when they're done mentally. Liverpool, and just pray for us at Liverpool against Liverpool and Newcastle, and even
but Liverpool are drunk. Who cares?
So if Liverpool are drunk, then we should beat them for the first time in 13 years. Then, yeah.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah, but
okay, cool. Clip
I
that.
want to win football matches.
I don't know why you care, Lee. The season's done. Finishing second or finishing fourth or finishing sixth.
No, I hope we finish 5th, 6th, 7th. Do you know why? Because you and people like you have used the league table as a barometer for progress. So if he don't finish second, if he don't finish second, that is regression. Yeah, by your very own metric. Because you said 8th, 5th, 2nd. So if he finishes 3rd, 4th, 5th, that's now regression. So thank you on your own metric that you've used for 5 years, waffling nonsense. Yeah. By going backwards to 3rd, 4th, 5th, we should sack him then.
Then
he's gone backwards.
You know what? Shout out Kenny Ken and what do you call it? Marty? Is that how you pronounce it?
It's not Matty, it's Marty.
Yeah. Bro, I don't know how you guys stood here for 2 hours and 30 minutes, and I swear to you, I've only heard your voices like 15 minutes.
I'm listening, man. I'm taking it all in.
Oh, come on, man. I appreciate all of you guys.
And yo, DJV, you know I mean no disrespect to you.
Egal, no, it's fine, man. Honestly, there's no disrespect. It's good. It's good chat. This is what you got to do. This is what the show's all about, man. It's everyone's got their opinions. It's not abusive.
People keep saying respect your elders. I'm like, bro, I'm not.
No, you do. No, it's fine. No, it's fine, man. You do respect the elders. It's no problem. I listen. I don't take offence of anything. It's what the show's all about. It's what coming on here is all about. Everyone's opinions. I respect everyone's opinions. Listen, I've always said I admire you for how much loyalty you want to stick by the manager. You know, I was similar to Wenger, you know, so it is what it is. But at the end of the day, all I'm going to say, Dan, big up for a wonderful show. Marty, pleasure to meet you, mate, on the screen.
Thank you.
Kenny Ken, always Lee. All I'm going to say is...
I met Marty a few times.
Yeah, I've never met Marty. I've seen Marty.
Kenny Vlog too, right?
Yeah, you won't see me. I'm in the posh end, 114.
Yeah, he's fucking fine. Yeah, look at this guy.
I don't go with the riffraff. No,
you don't want to go with the mutants and all that, like, you know.
No.
He brings us
in all fairness, all fairness though, I just want to say that I feel very, very numb. I felt very, very numb after last night, and it really, really hurt me. Like Kenny. You know, I was there when we lost the Champions League final, and I can't watch it again. And last night really, really did affect me. I thought we had a terrific chance this season when we got past Real Madrid and got in the semi-final. I fancied us. I weren't confident because of the manager, but I fancied us, and we didn't do it. And time again, I've had that feeling under this manager too many times. And that's why I believe we need to change. And we need to change for the good of the club. Because the manager's had the chances. He's had the money. He's had choice in who players that he wants to bring in. And on the big occasions, he's failed every single time. And I can't stand that feeling. I'm fed up with that feeling, guys. So all I'm going to say is this season, I can't wait to see the back end of it. It's been a poxy season. The club didn't do the right thing in the summer, and that's when we lost it.
You know, DJB, you might know this song. Don't stop believing.
Yeah, I have. I've stopped, man.
Because we're gonna get it eventually, guys. Honestly,
guess what? Yeah, you see when you sit there on New Year's Eve, and you go, oh yeah, next year's our year. Yeah, you can make all the plans. And then your girl goes, you go gym, and then you give up. Everyone signs up for a gym membership in January, and they fuck it off by February, bro.
At this point, we got to take a piss out of ourselves, and just next time there's a game,
we got to raise the standards. That's what we got to do, because you know what it is, The fact that Sav has raided in the chat, Bill Bell raid, the fact that fucking Man United fan, Man U a bit. I don't give a shit about Tottenham, but if they win it, you lot will cuss it and go, oh, they finished 16th. Man United are our rivals. Chelsea. Rivals. Tottenham are just noisy little fucking neighbours that will always be shit. However, them three are in a fucking final. Crystal Palace in a final, and that don't seem to hurt you. That
and on
pisses
top
me
of
off.
That, Lee, Newcastle have already won a trophy. Liverpool
at our expense.
No, Spurs are going to win it. I think Spurs are going to win it. Man United are poor. They are a bad team.
I look at how it. You know what? joy is taken out of your hands the moment you start comparing yourself. So don't compare yourself to people.
Well, you compare us to Real
Don't
Madrid,
compare
combined
yourself to
11s,
Don't compare
Liverpool,
yourself
all
to
these other
people unless
teams.
you want to be miserable. Look
Okay,
at
so how
yourself,
about if that's
look at
true? That's
yourself,
true. So how
look
about
at
raise the
yourself
standards then
and
and
look
call the
at
shit out?
look at yourself and look at how you can improve. And instead of talking about, oh well, other people are also going to improve, yes, but do what you need to do and focus on improving yourself. And every time I talk about what Arsenal can do to improve, stop talking about what Liverpool, Man United, Chelsea, and everybody else will do. Because if
We don't.
Because if we do what needs to get done this summer, not only will we win, we'll
That
set
word
ourselves
again,
up,
if.
we'll set ourselves up for domination.
No.
We've never dominated in our entire history. What are you waffling
And
about?
we can. We have the key pieces. We have
the key pieces, guys. It's not a retool.
Listen, if we sell Saliba and we don't buy a striker and we don't get a left winger and we go into next season with a relatively similar squad to this season, you might as well write off the season and let Arteta resign.
Well, no. See, again, you won't hold him accountable, but he also admits that he has the final word on transfers. But then you never hold him accountable for the transfers.
No, but sometimes
when we beat Real Madrid, no. Also, sometimes he chats shit when it suits you.
Like yesterday in the press conference with Anita, he was chatting shit.
Yeah, he was, because she rattled him because she asked him a proper question and she held him to that and then asked it again because he talked over it.
That was poor, I must say. But look, we don't want to bring that up because we'll be here for another 2 hours. Make sure you're following Marty, people. Marty, how can people follow you, bruv?
Big up Marty, man.
So Marty Ovens on Instagram and Facebook. I've just actually set up a TikTok just to get into the world of TikTok.
Turn all the comments off, mate. That's a mutant. That's a mutant app.
An avalanche of social media. And the Cobham FC TV, I run their YouTube channel. I've actually, I was speaking to the guy.
Did you say Cobham?
Cobham.
That's Chelsea.
Yeah. Just round the road from Chelsea training ground. Yeah. So funnily enough, and I was speaking to an ex-Chelsea legend, Champions League winner, Premier League winner, and I'll be interviewing him in the hopefully next few weeks for the channel. So it's all good, all positive stuff.
Let's make sure you go show Marty some love, please, people. Make sure you're following Kenny Chen.
Did you?
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Make sure
can you play out front? Can you play out front, mate?
Who, me? No, I'm a goalkeeper.
All right, well, do you stay in goal or do you come out to the halfway line?
Depends if I'm feeling fucking crazy that day, mate. You know what? As a goalkeeper, it's a thing that you do love.
Anyways,
guys, want to get up there. It's so tempting.
I've been trying.
It's rage quit again.
Bro,
trying to win this
2
show.
hours and 41 minutes. You can't say that's rage quitting.
Oh, you got no work rate, man. Come on, 2 hours. You do an 8-hour shift, man. You got 2 hours. Get out of it, man.
Listen, people, we're gonna wrap, man, because we're ever gonna do it. As an op, I'm one of the 27%. Mixed here, I wonder why. Spurs are on their way to build power. Big up to Perchy.
Big up to you.
Frustrating, that's what it is. Listen,
understand, Arteta's not going nowhere. 27% wins.
So don't go anywhere. Make sure you stay where you are. We're gonna send you over to Guns, who's going live now. So Lee will be going live. Make sure you stay.
Bro, you don't sleep, man.
And make sure you go show some love to everybody. This is silly. I'm just gonna hit end stream, otherwise it's never gonna end. In a bit.
Big up,